my beautiful little unicorns, it's your big sis from the internet here and your favorite tarot reader, Vanessa Somuayina. Welcome back to my channel and to another highly detailed healing pick a card tarot reading. In this psychic prediction, we will be uncovering everything that you need and that you must hear in order to change your life. So there's one thing that I can assure you, and that's that after receiving your reading in this video, your life will be changed for the better. Now, in order to help you access all of the information that you are meant to receive, remember everything in life has its reasons. There's a reason why you're here, and there's a reason that you're about to pick the group that you'll pick. And in order to do so, I have prepared 3 groups for you to choose from, and I would like you to pick one of these groups intuitively. So that means go with whichever group naturally speaks to you. Go with whichever one of these 3 different piles that you feel resonates with your energy and with who you are as a person. Because remember, this magical and healing space that I've created is all about you. This is your self-care routine. This is your self-care time. So for once, my beautiful soul, don't think about anyone other than yourself. Alright, so the 3 groups that I've got are as follows. Group number 1 corresponds to the Magical Spirit Oracle as well as the Rose Quartz Crystal. Group number 2 corresponds to the Orion's Animal Tarot as well as the Citrine Crystal. And group number 3 corresponds to the Sacred Feminine Oracle as well as the Black Obsidian Crystal. Once you've selected the group of your choice, you can find all of the timestamps below in the description box. So I'm about to give you a little moment of privacy where you can meditate on these 3 groups. Become aware of your breathing right now, my gorgeous soul. If you're breathing in a very shallow way, please take some really deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Relax into this space. Trust yourself and trust your intuition to guide you to the perfect group. And once you're ready, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, my lovely soul of group number 1. You chose the Magical Spirit Oracle as well as the Rose Quartz Crystal to help guide you through your reading with all of the important information that you need to receive in order to change your life. So this is the gorgeous Rose Quartz Crystal. I'll just put it up here for you so it can infuse the space with its energy. We also have a Rose Quartz Crystal point here in the frame. And in case you didn't know this, you may have chosen this stone intuitively because you're an empath, because you're someone who always cares a little too much. You're the type of person that cares so much and you put yourself in others' shoes to the extent that you sometimes even regret it and you feel as though it's sometimes even a weakness. But I want to remind you that your kindness is never a weakness. It actually just demonstrates what kind of character that you've got. And a caring person is the type of person that everyone wants within their lives, but not everyone knows how to really value someone as caring as you are, group 1. So first up, we've got the Mirror. The Mirror is a card that shows that what will change your life is to see the big picture more often. Sometimes you get so entangled in the little details and in the little complications that you feel as though, oh my God, my life is so challenging. I have so many things that aren't going my way. I don't like this about my skin. I don't like that about my body. And here we've got a little question for you. Did you forget all you had to go through to be you? Group number 1, ask yourself this question. Did you forget all you had to go through to be you? Because sometimes it seems like you forget. Sometimes it seems like you forget you're hot. You forget how intelligent you are. You forget how resilient and strong that you are. And sometimes the most life-changing messages are the simplest ones. They're the most straightforward ones. And I'm getting this message from your guides right now. I'm feeling it really deeply that sometimes all you need is to be reminded of the fact that you are amazing, is to be reminded of the fact that you have accomplished so much and you are nitpicking at the things that you find imperfect in yourself. Meanwhile, No one else even sees those things. So please see the big picture about yourself, group number one, because I want you to know here that Spirit can tell that you can get so wrapped up in the little things that you forget to take a step back and actually congratulate yourself and celebrate yourself for how far you've come. Now here we've got the red rose. Don't worry, darling, you'll find your way, especially when you feel as though you don't even know what the F you're doing. Group number one, does anyone even know what the F they're doing? Because I can assure you the answer is most likely no. Most of us don't know what we're doing. Most of us are floating around, and we will float around on this rock in the universe our entire lives, not really knowing 100% whether what we're doing is right or wrong. And I want you to take as an example even your parents. Remember how as a child you thought that parents were like these all-knowing seers who just understood everything and knew everything and had solutions for all. And then as you get older, you start to also see their faults and that they are imperfect as well, and that they've made mistakes and that they had to overcome obstacles and their own traumas that they haven't even dealt with up until this day, you know, that still is reflective in their behavior patterns. And then you realize nobody actually has it all figured out. Nobody actually knows what they're doing. And then you start to realize if nobody really knows, does it even matter what I do? Does it even matter whether people approve or not? Does it even matter whether I'm quote unquote doing what I'm supposed to do? Or can I just be free? Can I just be wild? Can I just do something that is so far removed from societal norms that it's deemed as crazy? And I picked the latter. Group number one, as you can see, I am a tarot reader. I started my own online business. I've authored tarot and oracle decks. You guys know as of recently, I've been selling my tarot courses, and it's just been a wonderful journey that if I would have told anyone 5 years ago, oh, I want to be a full-time YouTuber and start this business, they probably would have said, you really need to see a therapist. You need to medicate. And I want you to know here in the Ascendant that your Ascendant sign will give you all the info you need for the entrance into this realm of creativity and creation, where you're in a space just like I am, basically, where of course I have good and bad days. It's still work in many ways, but it is so different than if I was stuck in a career that just isn't my journey and isn't my path. And if right now you feel stuck in an area of your life that isn't your journey, it's not your path, it's not your professional story, it's not your love story, I want you to know that in order to gain entrance into what is your story, look at your Ascendant sign. Look at that rising sign. And if your rising sign, for example, is Gemini, all right? And for any of you who didn't know, your rising and your ascendant sign are the same. And you can find your rising or your ascendant sign, however you'd like to call it, in your birth chart. If you've never done your birth chart, you can literally go on to Google, type in birth chart calculator. You're going to need the place that you were born and the time. And then you're going to type that in, and it will spit out all the information from your rising sign, your sun sign, your moon sign, all of the placements of the different houses, and you will of course find this ascendant sign. For me, it is in Gemini, so I knew the entrance into living my highest purpose was communication. Gemini is the sign of communication. It is the sign of being inquisitive. It is the sign of also being very versatile, and it's ruled by Mercury. The heavenly body of Mercury is the heavenly body of the rational mind, your thinking process, all forms of communication, and also being able to travel. And this resonates so well with tarot because, of course, well, communication, it's communicating through the divine, communicating through the cards, through the oracle, and also traveling between these different energetic spheres and frequencies, and between the divine and the earthly. So for me, my ascendant makes complete sense, and I highly, highly recommend and urge you to check your ascendant out as well, in order to give you that epiphany, that life-changing understanding of where your life purpose lays, of where you are meant to be rooted, professionally speaking, because we spend so much of our lives in our professions, we spend so much of our lives working. It would be a shame for you to not actually have a profession that you love, to not actually spend those 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day doing something that you absolutely adore, because that will help you through the tough times too. Now here we've got Neptune. Neptune is the heavenly body of vision, imagination, having those ideas that almost like depicted here in Neptune. It's like a splatter. Once you've got it, it's like poof, this thing just showed up for you that you never thought of before. So I see that within you, you have this knack for spirituality and all things divine, all things that for other people might seem crazy. Like even if you go into old buildings, old houses, you can feel the energy. You have even had some supernatural encounters. Whether you have realized that that was a supernatural encounter or not, it really depends how deeply you've gone into these topics. But for example, sensing when there are some sort of spirits, some sort of ghosts around, if you've always been a little bit unsure about alcoholic beverages, for example, because there's a reason why they're called spirits, right? And you've always kind of thought to yourself, I want to kind of slow it down. I don't want to do too much here with these spirits because I feel like it might unlock something dark. It might unlock something unwanted. I want you to know these are all signs that your life purpose is really to be found within your ascendant and is yet for you to fully discover. So group number 1, if you've not been 100% into what your job has been giving you, if you feel like there's just a little something that's still missing, that is your solution. That is the life-changing piece of information that you need right here and right now in order to give you clarity. Now let's move on here in our healing journey. We've got the 7 of Swords in reverse. I'll just show you this card upright so you get a sense of the energy. The energy of the 7 of Swords is an energy of taking something that wasn't meant for you. Okay, here, this individual has all of these swords, so it is marking that he's walking away from these tents, from where everyone is stationed. And I don't know if you see, but here, well, of course you see, this is a 4K camera. We didn't get that for nothing. Here we've got some cookies on the ground, and he's got a cookie pouch here, another cookie about to fall out. So clearly he's stolen these cookies basically, and he's leaving the camp with these cookies, but it leaves traces. So remind yourself here that when someone takes something that isn't meant for them, whether it's money, whether it's someone's heart, whether it is time and attention, whether it's adoration, it leaves traces. And in the end, it always comes back to haunt. And I see here within the 7 of Swords reverse that you've literally had countless occasions where you could have taken advantage of others, countless occasions where you could have taken advantage financially, you could have taken advantage emotionally. You never did it. So you don't have this karma, these traces that can be traced back to a kind of character that takes advantage of others, and that gives you a very clean, energetic vibration and frequency. So I want you to know that when you meet people and they say to you, oh, it feels like I've already known you my whole life, it feels like I've already known you forever, like we've been friends forever, it's because you have a very clean, energetic field around you. So we have a card that wanted to speak. You saw as I was shuffling, the card popped itself out, and this is the Magician. For all of you who are in my How to Become a Great Tarot Reader quick course, where I also teach you how you can do this professionally, you just know. The Magician is the first card of the major arcana within the tarot, and the Magician is someone who is aware of all of their different skills that they've got, and they're in full control. We have this caterpillar that's sitting on this mushroom. It is this kind of psychedelic mushroom feel and vibe, isn't it? And this caterpillar looks very self-assured. He's holding a sword, he's holding a wand, he's got a pentacle here, a cup. These are all the 4 suits in the tarot. So he's got everything completed, right? Everything from these 4 suits. The sword is about the element of air, the cup is the element of water, the pentacle represents the element of earth, and the wand represents the element of fire. So we've got all parts of life covered, whether it's the emotions, whether it's money and things in the earthly realms, whether it's your passions, whether it's your logic and your communication. I want you to know here that through never taking the easy route just because it's available, through being the type of person who chose to keep up their integrity and be trustworthy, rather than just do the quick, easy thing that in fact didn't sit right with you, you have developed a type of spiritual resilience, but also a set of skills that is unique to you and that no one can replicate just like that, that everyone who took the fast route is not able to replicate the type of energetic frequency and vibration. You can't fake that. All right, so here within our Bow Life pouch, shameless self-promo, but you know, when you've got some amazing products, you obviously aren't afraid to show that off. So let's see precisely what message Spirit has for you. Spirit wants you to know something about salt. So, containing or consisting of salt. Containing, covered with, or growing near salt water. Tasting or smelling of salt. Group number 1. Do you like things that taste salty? Are you more of a savory or a sweet type of person, or do you need a little bit of both? How important is salt for you in your life? Because I do also see here that Spirit is trying to say to you that salt is not all bad. Salt is also necessary for our bodies. We need a certain amount of salt, and if your salt intake is low, that may actually have you feeling a little weak, a little dizzy, a little unsettled. So make sure that you're eating enough salt, you're getting enough salt, and you're getting the right type of salt. Some of us also need more salt than others. I remember I literally went to the doctor, and she, who is obviously a medical professional, she told me I need to be having more salt because of my body's composition. So I want you to know here that salt isn't always bad, but salt is also sometimes what you receive when you actually are mistaking something for sugar. And within time, as you learn, as you mature, you start to also learn who is trustworthy and who isn't, who is selling sugar but is actually providing salt. And that's what I see in the Seven of Swords reverse, that at this point in your life, you are able to read humans like a book. You're able to read people really easily, and you're able to trust your intuition and be reminded that if something or someone feels off, then there is probably a reason for that. And it's best for you to not even continue the connection to find out why. It's best for you to just step away, especially once you've verified that something is weird. Like if you're talking to someone and they're being really flaky, okay? And this is someone that you wanted to see through a relationship with in a romantic sense. Like you're interested in one another, or at least that's what it seems like. And then all of a sudden they start ghosting or they start pulling back, and you start to get a very different type of energy from them. They're seeing someone else, because otherwise there's no reason. If they're just as into you and the connection, and they value it just as much, and they're thinking, oh, this could be my forever partner, they are not going to behave in any way that would jeopardize that, especially not so early on, group number 1. So you're learning to read these things and also to understand, to trust how people behave over what they say. Always. You don't make exceptions anymore. And I do also see here within "Don't worry, darling, you'll find your way." Spirit wants you to gift yourself roses. Look at how she's looking into the eye of this rose here, because the rose has an eye. She looks like she's feeling very dreamy about it, like she's feeling very self-assured, and the rose is kind of growing here from a crack in the pavement. Just because you're not getting flowers from another person frequently, just because you're not with someone who has a flower delivery on repeat every single week, doesn't mean that you can't be your own flower delivery. You know that "I Can Buy Myself Flowers" song? Yeah. I want you to know that quite literally Spirit is saying to you, you don't have to listen to that song, you can, but the important thing to take from it is you can buy yourself the flowers, you can spoil yourself. The Hermit card is a card of enlightenment. The Hermit actually represents you coming out of hiding, basically, you coming out of solitary confinement and having this huge epiphany in your life, having this huge aha moment. And what comes as a very life-changing aha moment, as we already spoke about, through introspection and also spending more time in studying yourself and your birth chart, like we spoke about in the ascendant, you will have this illumination of like, oh my God, my ascendant is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a very optimistic, very honest, very out there kind of sign. This fire sign is a sign that knows what they want. So of course I'm meant to be a leader in this tech company. Of course I am meant to be this person who drives innovation forward. I'm not meant to be someone who is in the sidelines or who is kind of like in the back developing and coming up with things. I'm more of the outgoing sales type of person. That's where I really shine. Even if it's uncomfortable, that's what I'm best at. And trust me, group number one, even doing tarot publicly, you know, here on YouTube, where it's been accessed by tens of millions of people over the years. And if you're new here, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and join the family. We are at just over 500,000 beautiful souls who are subscribed to this healing community. And I want to make tarot something so normal and supportive and healing that it becomes a household thing to tune into a tarot reading in the night before you go to bed, on your way to work, as you know, you have some space to just put on something to listen to. I want you to take in this kind of healing vibration, calming energy, not just the constant dopamine hits that you get on the social platforms that provide you with a lot of short form content. I want you to feel grounded. I want you to feel like this is helping you for real in real life, not just giving you some dopamine hits and then in the end you feel depleted, depressed, and disconnected from the world. So I do want you to know here, coming back to the ascendant, for example, in Saggy, your ascendant would mean you're the type of person that is meant to be out there. You are a leader. If your ascendant, for example, is within Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune, you're the kind of person who is really caring, who's very responsive, who has very psychic knacks and abilities that others don't have. So you really thrive in professions where you're helping others. You're really thriving in professions where you're a carer, a nurturer. So professions with the elderly, with kids, where you are teaching, where you are the one who they rely on for a lot more than just business, you know, for a lot more emotional stability than one would actually even put in a job description. So the Eight of Swords does show us here that Spirit wants to say to me that you have to be encouraged to get out of your current comfort zone. You see how the Eight of Swords shows a beautiful individual who is tied up and they've got a blindfold around their eyes, and then we also have these swords kind of all around them. And what this shows us here in the Eight of Swords is that this individual is trapped. The swords represents the internal, the thinking mind. So it's being trapped by your own thoughts. So it's not actually something real. These swords represent thoughts, they represent fears, they represent anxieties, they represent overthinking and doubts. So it's not that there's anything that's actually physically stopping you, group number one, but it's more that your own thoughts and your own worries and your own overthinking is what is in your way at this point. And to break through these blockages, there's no other way than to first of all become aware of the fact that there's nothing wrong with you or your life that you can't accomplish your wildest dreams. It's all possible. It already exists within the quantum field, but you've got to find a way to access it. And there's no other way to access it than to behave differently than you're behaving right now. Because the behavior that you are exhibiting now and the choices that you've made in the past weeks, months, and years, those are the things that have gotten you to this point that you're at right now. And when you make different choices, when you exhibit different behaviors today, you are creating a different tomorrow. So if your today is not the goal, is not the life that you want for the next years, make it a point to behave differently today for a different tomorrow. So here we've got the Death card. Spirit is not letting up, and I hope that you can appreciate my directness, my honesty, my realness. No matter how old you are, we all can benefit from a big sis that just tells us how it is and is not here to sugarcoat anything. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here for you with this Death card, because the message is extremely clear to me, because I communicate so much with Spirit, with the guides, that I can tell your guides are trying to say to you, just give it up. It has to be now a time where there's the death of the old cycle and the death of the old you. You've gotten everything out of this situation that you can. You've gotten everything out of these opportunities that are in your life, and now it's time for something new. You've been beating a dead horse. One thing that I'm getting here is that even in a romantic relationship, like if you constantly need to ask for the bare minimum, for basic respect, for basic reciprocity, to not feel like you're the one doing everything, you know, providing emotionally, financially, cleaning up, taking care of the other person, making sure that everyone's okay, taking care of pets, of kids, of family, always having to plan everything, not feeling like you're actually with an equal because they're flaky, because you don't know where you stand with them in your life, because they don't give you a feeling of security. Group number one, you deserve better, way better in your romantic life, in your private life. And sometimes I know this can be really hard to do and really hard to hear, but I've got to tell you this because I've been through this myself, and I am so grateful that I had the courage to get out. I'm so grateful that I had the courage to say enough is enough. I deserve better than this, and I want you to become abundantly aware of this, group number one. You were not put on this earth to suffer. You were not put on this earth to not enjoy your life and your existence. Your existence is important. Your existence is meaningful. And it is important that you have fun in this existence. It is important that you have a good time. Yes, it is important that every single day feels like a gift and that you can enjoy yourself. You were not made to be a slave of another person. Group number one, you were not meant to be a slave of other people's expectations. And just because you've known someone for a while, or because you love them or want to show loyalty, that you let your life pass by in a kind of energy and vibration that doesn't serve you and that you don't like. You deserve more than that, and you don't need that, because guess what? That person also wouldn't allow that. So why are you allowing it, group number one? We've got the Fool reversed. Yeah, that's why this card is showing up in reverse, group number one. You're no fool. You sincerely are no fool. Your mother did not raise a fool. The Fool is actually not just representative of someone who is a quote-unquote fool. I don't want you to feel as though that is the message here within the tarot, or that the tarot would ever say, oh, someone is a fool. But having foolish energy is something that comes naturally with the number 0, which shows we're very much at the beginning. We might put ourselves in situations that are dangerous. You can see here this individual feels like they've got it figured out, but actually there's some sort of creature that is about to just rip them out of the picture and into some sort of, I imagine, dark, dingy place that is a little scary, and perhaps they should have stayed away from this swamp or this place that they decided to venture to. So the Fool showing up reversed for you, group number one. It is a strong indication of the fact that you have had your time of being foolish or being a fool. You've had your time of making certain mistakes in your life, and Spirit wants you to now move on and to know that you're too grown for childish relationships. You're too grown to deal with a childish boss. You're too grown to deal with basically anything that isn't already how you need it to be long term. And this is something that I always discuss with my private clients. And the question is, if this person were to never change, if this person were to stay the same forever, from here on out, for the next 30 years, would you be happy? Would you still want that person in your life? If the answer is no, then this is probably not a relationship that should be very close in your life, because you don't control that, And if you know that they're not satisfying you now, why are we banking on potential? We have the Seven of Swords again. Group 1, it couldn't be more obvious here that Spirit wants to talk to you about karma. We had that here within the Seven of Swords reverse already. Now it's showing up again in another tarot deck. And this karma is being shown to you because with this new beginning, with the Death card, don't worry about whether the new beginning is going to be good or not. You've created amazing karma for yourself. I want you to know you did not go to those situations where you took advantage and now you have to worry about your next incarnation or your next cycle actually being a super challenging one. I see here within the Four of Cups that what you need is a little bit of encouragement. Sometimes literally all that we need is just for someone else to believe in us, is just for someone else to remind us of who we are. And that's what this reading is here for. That's what these messages are here for. That is what I am here to give you as a piece of information to change the energy of your life, to allow you, once you've gotten up from this reading, to make different decisions than you usually make day in and day out that you know will propel you to the life of your dreams tomorrow. The person that stands before you today, and I always like to use my own experiences as an example because I can say for sure with certainty that this is valid. For example, the channel I've built today with close to 700 tarot videos, it was built off of the person yesterday. It was built off of me yesterday. I needed encouragement. I needed someone to give me this cup every now and then because I looked at what I had already done and I wasn't satisfied with it. If you look at work that you've done, if you look at where you are right now in the sense of this person here looking at the Three Cups and you're like, it's not good enough. It's not enough. I haven't accomplished as much as other people my age. I haven't won a Nobel Prize. I don't have an Oscar or Grammy. I didn't make $10 million yet. I just want you to know here that sometimes you need to accept that what you've done is already amazing, and yet there's still more to come. But does that mean we can't celebrate what you've already done? And I felt like that very often as well, where I look at my things and I'm like, oh, I haven't done enough. I should be doing so much more. I haven't built this enough. I haven't done that enough. And I just want you to know here that at the same time, when you look at what you've accomplished today, that is built off of the back of who you were yesterday. And I'm really thankful to who I was yesterday and a month ago and 3 years ago, that I believed in myself enough to say, yeah, I'm going to do this thing. I don't care if anyone believes in it or not. I don't care if anyone thinks, oh, tarot is too niche to be successful at it. Watch me. Now, the King of Coins shows us here that King of Coins energy is what you're attracting into your life because you're becoming the King of Coins. Now, you may ask yourself, Vanessa, what is King of Coins energy? Well, the King of Coins is the king of the earthly realm. The suit of coins corresponds to the element of earth, and it strongly connects to Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, as those are the earth signs of astrology. Now, here within the King of Coins, as you can see, we've got a king sitting on a throne. We've got a very big coin. This king has a very regal looking kind of vibe, outfit going on. The king, of course, is wearing a crown. The king has got a scepter. Like, the king has got it going on. The king is not worried about bills. The king is not worried about making money. The king is affluent. The king is benevolent. And I want you to know here within the King of Coins that when it comes to your life moving forward, having King of Coins energy where you are serious about your money, you're serious about your finances, and people can tell that you're not playing around, people start to respect you and they start to back off from trying to screw you over. You remember that car dealership that tried to like overcharge you to the nines? Or literally that bill that you got about some sort of like tax, additional tax that you don't even qualify for? Literally, when you went to that restaurant and you ordered something, you specifically said, I would like the small version or the small portion, and they're trying to bill you for the big one. Even though you said, I want the small one, they then bring you the big portion. You, of course, you don't own the restaurant. You don't know, is this the smaller of the big or the big portion? You have it, and then they inform you, no, that was actually the big one. Well, okay, that's not my fault. It's not my problem. If I order, for example, a rose quartz from a store, and they send me a diamond, how is that my fault? How am I supposed to know as a customer? I'm not the expert, and it is your right to refuse to have to put up with any additional payment or any additional charges. It is your right to refuse to allow that. And learning to stand up for yourself and learning to know that even at the supermarket, like before you get to the till, you get to pick precisely what you want. If you get to the till and you realize, oh, this like pack of blueberries that I got, actually some of them already are a little, white looking. They're already, what's that called when they're already growing a little? I'm missing the English word, but in German it's called Schimmel, when it's already starting to like grow a little bit, or there's one that's just off in there and you don't want it. You get to put it back and just pick something else, and there's nothing to feel ashamed of. The Two of Pentacles shows us here. It is about a balance, group number one, and you're the type of person who has always been able to thrive in balance, and having this feminine part of you that is non-confrontational, that doesn't like to argue, that doesn't like to get into a situation that is negative or anything like that. But now we also have this kind of stepping up side of you that is not going to be made to be a fool at all, because guess what? We spoke about this here within the Fool card reverse. You're not a fool anymore. You're not a complete beginner. You still have a lot to learn, but these years that you've spent on planet Earth, they've also taught you some lessons, and you're not big enough of a fool to have to endlessly repeat those lessons. Now we've got the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups shows us complete fulfillment when it comes to relationships. It shows us that there is this love, there's this adoration, there's this care for one another. What this card represents in the tarot, as it is the last numbered card of the suit of cups, which is the suit of relationships, emotions, and the element of water, is that you will find someone here that is your forever person. And I want you to know that happiness is assured for your interpersonal relationships. If you were worried, if you thought to yourself, you may die alone with your cat, you may end up just being this person that never finds anyone, because it seems as though the dating pool, the quality, I don't want to get too much into detail, group number one, but it's just, I don't know what's going on in this day and age. And I feel like a lot of it does also have to do with the internet and social media. While in so many ways we are blessed to have all of this free information and these resources and even this space here to connect with, it can be hard to find really meaningful relationships, especially romantic ones that you can count on. But here in the 10 of Cups, I do see that for you, this is something that lays ahead. This is a piece of information that your guides wanted you to have, especially if you've been crying a lot. Especially if you at night find it hard to sleep, to go to bed because you're feeling lonely, you're feeling unsure about what life still has in store for you. And in a way, you're a little bit afraid that it's not going to be good, or that it's not going to actually be a relationship. It's not going to be with anyone else, and you're going to be lonely. So I want you to take this as a confirmation from your guides that you're not meant to be alone or lonely, and that things can change really quickly as soon as you meet the right person. Now, next up, we have got the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is a card of inaction. The Hanged Man shows us here that what you're meant to do next is to act differently when it comes to the action that you're taking to create a different reality, but do not act with anyone else, okay? Only act by working on you, only act by creating the life you desire. Don't give anyone your 2 cents, okay? I see here within the Hanged Man, the 7 of Swords showing up twice for you. Someone close to you, okay, this is a friend, is going to be doing something sneaky in a close relationship, and it's going to have to do with being dishonest about feelings. They are, like cheating, basically, and cheating for love and cheating for things, for material things. And you're not used to them doing this. You're not used to them being this type of person, but for some reason, something got into them and they want to test their luck. And I see that this friend of yours, they don't even want advice. They don't even want you to tell them no. They just want to do it, and I want you to stay out of this. I want you to stay out of anyone's business at this point in time. Oh, that's not the top card. This is the top card, the Five of Coins reverse. That way you will avoid losing a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of your nerves, even money, okay? Because when you start to get involved here with someone who is just drama, when you start to get involved with someone who has created a type of drama for themselves that you had no part in, guess what? You're going to be trying to solve with them, and what are you not going to be able to do? You're not going to be able to work on yourself. You're not going to be able to work on your ventures to make sure that your career is going where it needs to go. And we sometimes just have to really set firm boundaries between ourselves and others, especially when we have goals in mind, career goals, goals of establishing ourselves within society in a way that we have security financially, especially. And sometimes you have to sacrifice certain relationships or sacrifice spending so much time in them, because if you do that, you're taking away time from creating your own dream life. And that's what Spirit wants to say to you. That's what Spirit wants to make really clear to you, because being such an empath, such a softie from the inside, it can sometimes come with feelings of guilt or feeling almost like you have to be there for others in ways that you really don't need to, in ways that really should be a huge privilege for anyone to even have another person in their life as. And when you do it too much, certain friends, they may just get so used to it, they may actually see it as like the norm and start to take it for granted. And that's one thing I really do not want you to experience, group number one, so let's just not even put ourselves in that situation. Now, I want for us to receive some really, really specific messages from Spirit through using some letters here within your reading. So let's see what your guides have to say. So we're just intuitively picking letters. We've got T as well as O. All right. Let's see what else Spirit wants to say. And then we have got W, Q, and V. Okay, so one thing I'm getting here is a vow, right? So to vow something. Vow and then QT, quality. It's better to have quality in your vows than quantity. Quality in the sense of, you remember we spoke about in the Ten of Cups, you having a soulmate, you having fulfillment, marriage, someone to be with forever. I just put this on the Hanged Man because the Hanged Man is a sign of not rushing into anything. The Hanged Man is a sign of taking your time. And I want you to know here that when it comes to these vows, take your time with it. It's about finding the right one. It's about finding someone who isn't just going to promise something that they can't keep up with. That would be low quality. This is about the fact that you are vowing with someone that you know you can count on, with someone that you know you'll have a quality relationship with. So Spirit wants to confirm this vow of quality with you, group number one, and wants you to have this further confirmation in clear writing so that you can stop to overthink and stress about this aspect of your life. So group number one, I am now going to clear and cleanse the space, and we'll get even more deeply into your reading. If you made it all the way to this point, leave a little engagement ring emoji below in the comment section, because that is the only way anyone would know that you're part of group number one and that you're a real one who's watched all the way to this point. And it will also further solidify and manifest this quality vow into your life. So don't forget to now leave that engagement ring in the comment section to let me and others know as I clear and cleanse the space, and then I'll be right back with you for us to delve even more deeply into your psychic prediction. Hello, my gorgeous soul of group number one. Welcome back. Did you miss me? Let's get a little more deeply into your reading, shall we, to figure out everything that you need to change your life. So these big changes that are coming for you, and also guidelines that Spirit has for you to live your absolute best life. Okay, so we have the symbol of Leo on Ask Again. If you have been dealing with a Leo that is leaving you confused, all right, just ask them again. Just ask them what they meant. You know, if you deal with a Leo and you're not sure, do they like you? Do they not like you? Did they mean that in a little bit of a derogatory way? Like, why are they being snippy with me? Why are they being short? Why are they leaving me confused? Just ask them again. It's simple. Like, Leo doesn't play games. When they're being confusing, it's because they genuinely think that they're speaking to you in a way that you understand, but they don't actually realize that they're being really unclear. Okay, we've also got the number 2, which is the number of partnerships. This is the number of togetherness. It did not land on our divination board. And I want you to know here within the number 2, which I'll put right up here next to your rose quartz, that what you've got to know here, the big changes coming in your life are that you are meant to be in a partnership where there are only 2 people. All right, any kind of infidelity, it's a big no-no. So to change your life, I want you to absolutely never fall into this thought process of thinking that if someone has betrayed you or cheated on you, that there's any kind of valid reason for them to have done so. And I want you to absolutely never, ever, ever think that it was your fault. Never, ever, ever allow anyone to make you feel like you pushed them to do so. And I want you to pinky promise, I want you to pinky swear, group number 1, let me know below in the comment section that you are never going to blame yourself for something happening in your life that really was not your fault, nor was it in your control. Like, people need to start taking accountability. People need to start taking responsibility, is what I meant to say, but also accountability. And to stop allowing for empaths like you to carry the entire burden. But of course, it's always easier for someone else to carry your burden. All right, so next up, okay, we've got the North Node. Is this the North Node? Group number 1, this is the South Node, actually. I thought it was the North Node at first, but I see here it is underlined as the South Node. Your South Node represents your past and your karma. It's what is instinctual to you and what you've already seen, where you've already been. And these are things that you have to break free from, that Spirit wants us to talk about here in your South Node, because this life calls you to move away from these areas or themes indicated by the South Node. That's what we're going to delve a little more deeply into throughout this section of your reading. So Leo is already kind of out, if you will. Leo is already a little bit of past karma vibes. Leo is giving us this uncertainty. We're moving away from this area of life in which we've got a Leo that we constantly need to worry about because we never know where we stand with them. So it's clarity or nothing for you, group number 1. Let's move a little further into it. If you're a Leo yourself, then you may be thinking, am I the problem? Yeah, you are the problem. Let me tell you why, group number 1. And I am also the problem in my life right now. I am a Cancerian, but I am the problem because my indecisiveness has cost me. And I mean cost me dollars. Because when you're indecisive in business, when you're indecisive in your private life, you waste time. And time is money. And I want you to know here within the Hanged Man that what you are meant to move away from is this indecisiveness, is this overthinking, is this questioning, should I make this decision, should I not make this decision? Group number 1, sometimes it isn't that deep. Sometimes it is just as simple as the question, who cares? Who cares whether it's the quote unquote right or wrong decision? You'll find out. Okay, the more you F around, the more you find out, literally. And I want you to know here that sometimes you have to F around in life. Sometimes you have to just decide things, do things, and then deal with consequences or the wins later. Because just staying in the Hanged Man position, just staying in a position of complacency, it isn't going to do anything to improve your life quality, nor are you going to be as successful as you could be, nor are you going to feel as though you're going anywhere in life. And I do see here within the 5 of Cups, and we said that in the South Node, right, we're talking about things that you've got to move away from. And that's here, this kind of like victim mentality, this mentality of feeling like, oh, this isn't working out for me and that never works out for me. And by the way, I just published a video like 2 videos ago. You can find it on my channel. It's called 10 Steps to Create a New Life. You must watch this, group number 1, because it is a very short video. Unlike my tarot readings, it's very short and straight to the point. And it gives you so much value in how you can create a new life in 10 steps. And that's also what the 5 of Cups represents, all right? Moving away from victim mentality, moving away from victimhood, feeling like your cups are empty, like your opportunities are limited. The fact that you even have access to the interweb and you're watching this video on some sort of device, it is already indicative of the fact that you are living better than most people on planet Earth. And then what? You want to be worried about, oh no, things aren't going exactly how I dreamt them up to be. I mean, group number 1, come on now. Like, you know that there are certain areas of your life where you're like worried about it not moving as fast, or oh, I'm not successful here in this area of my life enough. Okay, but you also know why. If you're not happy with your health, with your body, with what it looks like, okay, but does the amount of time you spend working out and at the gym, does it equate to the body you want? Does the diet that you've got going on for yourself, because diet really is 80% of how you look and your results with working out and your body, does your diet really reflect the body that you desire and the health that you're after? Does it? Does it though? Same goes for romantic relationships. Like, if your relationship is in shambles, or just romantically speaking in general, you're like, what in the F is going on? I just feel intuitively called to already pre-select the next 2 cards for you, but we'll continue on the 5 of Cups thought before we move into the next cards of the tarot over here. So same goes for your romantic life. You're thinking to yourself, oh, it's in shambles, it's not how I want, it's not the dynamic that I want. Okay, but do you stand on business? Because sometimes you even literally need to go as far as to leave somebody to stand on business, because they will just never value you while being with you. And I need to talk to you about this because it's really sad. And I've been in these situations before where it's like, you like this person so much, you love them so deeply, you wish that you could be together, you wish you could be a thing, but you can't, because you being with them, it lowers your value and brings your value to their level, and they will never be on your level. As harsh as it sounds, like, they know that they are quote unquote beneath you. They know that you've put in the work and they haven't. So you being in a relationship with them, it already signals to them that you don't value yourself, because you wouldn't be in a relationship with someone like them if you valued yourself. You wouldn't be in a relationship with someone who is abusive, with someone who has not done any work on themselves, who is inconsistent, who leaves you not knowing where you stand if you valued yourself. So you even being in a relationship with them, they can tell you don't value yourself because they know they're not a good partner. They know that they're not a good match. They know that they're not providing you with what they really should. And it's so sad when you sometimes have to leave people. And the same goes for friendships, because they will never value you being with them, because you being with them is a downgrade and they know it themselves. I know this is so direct. I know there's probably no other place on the internet where we can be this honest, but you guys know I'm your big sis. We are speaking here as though we're actually together in a room and we're really discussing these things, and we're saying the things that people think but would never say. We're saying the things that are hidden and people don't want to bring to light because, well, it's not fun. It's also a little shocking. And it is definitely a topic that I would say is taboo, because we always want to act as though, well, everyone is worthy of the same chance. But no, not in love, not when it comes to wasting your life and your patience. So let's get into it. Charm-wise, okay, we've got 3 charms here. We have a rocking chair and a feather. These are, for some reason, oh wow, the feather is like intertwined in the rocking chair. I'm not even going to move it. We've got it here on Ask Again. So a delicate situation and childhood trauma in this Leo. That's why they're so unclear. That's why it's hard for you to really figure out where you stand with them. And then we also have your butterfly between not yet and no. So is it time for you to go through another huge shift, another huge glow up? Not yet. All right, give yourself a little bit of time now to recover from the last one. Give yourself a little moment to just rest where you are now and make slow changes. So please don't from one day to the next start running marathons and only eating kale and going to the gym like 5 times a week and cutting people off immediately at the first red flag. Implement things slowly but surely and allow for yourself some time to adjust, okay? Any changes made really quickly are also bound to often revert back just as fast as you were creating or thinking that you were creating those habits. So next here we have the 7 of Cups, which as you can see, there are 7 different cups here. In each cup, we have something different. I love this deck because it just gives this very colorful, psychedelic vibe. And I love those types of vibes. So the 7 of Cups here shows something different in every cup, right? And the 7 of Cups in the tarot, in case you didn't know, it indicates having options. It indicates having a lot of choices. And when you have a lot of options here within the 7 of Cups, it is actually also indicative of like, why settle? Literally, why settle? And I'm just going to talk to you about let's just call this a fictitious scenario. So let's just say you are a pretty individual. You're a pretty young lady and you're seeing someone, it's been a couple weeks and months, and they have not really offered to take you up on your love language, whether that be making sure that they're consistently communicating with you, that they're bringing a kind of commitment to this relationship, not introducing you to their family or friends, not buying you anything or helping you with any of your bills if they know that that would be helpful for you. And for example, gifts is part of your love language, because can we stop demonizing just one love language because we want to say, oh, it's materialistic? Literally in the animal kingdom, there are so many animals that gift their mates. Like animals literally will go out, risk their lives to gather something material to gift the mate that they're trying to impress and trying to be with. Like, boy, you don't even need to risk your life. Just literally go to the high-end shopping street. Just literally, like send the funds. Here are my bank details. Like, you don't even need to do all that. And if they can't even do that, it's like, why would you take yourself off of the market and pass up on an opportunity of someone who is consistent, someone who understands your love language, someone who wants to be committed and will introduce you to friends and family and show that this is a solid relationship? Why would you take your beautiful self, or this young lady take her beautiful self off of the market to be in this subpar situationship? Because that's all that it is. And when I say, let's just make an example, this beautiful young girl, how about that beautiful young individual is you? How about that beautiful person who does not need to remove themselves from the possibility of having all of their needs met? You don't have to take yourself off the market for anybody at this point in time. I want you to know here, the 7 of Cups, there's a reason why this shows up, and it represents choices, options. Even if you don't see them immediately, don't out of fear of ending up alone, because I'm getting that from your reading, this fear of ending up alone, ending up being like a lonely cat lady, with like 8 cats, and then when you're like 100 years old and you pass away, your cats eat you, and it's just a sad story that shows up in the newspaper at that time. I guess it would just be somewhere on like a digital platform, but you get where I'm trying to go with this kind of fatalistic view. Please, group number 1, like, this needs to stop, because this is not your destiny. Your destiny is to have options. And I see here within the Knight of Swords, your destiny is to be with somebody who knows what they want. Okay, we have masculine energy. The Knight of Swords represents masculinity. We've got a phallic symbol. You can see that here. The sword represents quick, witty, and intelligent kind of energy. The Knight of Swords is someone who literally comes into your life with their sword, quote unquote. They say what they want and they mean it. They're a logical person. You are the one who brings more of the feels. You are the one who brings the emotional depth. They're the one who is really like to the point, and they're like very much business. And having you in their life enriches it, and it brings a lot of color into their existence. Now, let's move a little further into it. Okay, We have salad for you. Did we not talk about kale and the outcome of your diet and being real and honest with yourself? Like, is the diet that you're consuming, does it reflect the body that you want? Like, does actually what you're doing, does it reflect where you're trying to go? Can we really be surprised that you don't have a six-pack if instead of salad you're eating pizza and fries? And there's nothing wrong with pizza and fries. You guys know I love some good pizza and fries. Leave a pizza and fry emoji below in the comment section, because why not? But I just want you to know, like, please, either we're doing something about the things we want to change and we want to optimize and where we want to be above average, then you also need an above average diet. Or then let's just enjoy life and not even be harsh on ourselves. But here with the salad, Spirit is like, girl, you need to eat a few more greens, okay? We need a few more veggies in that diet. We need a few more leafy things. So salad, what we've got here, a cold dish consisting mainly of a mixture of raw vegetables, whole, sliced, chopped, or in pieces, usually served with a dressing for flavor. Yeah, you can put some proteins in there. I love to put vegan proteins in my salad, or to just add things like tomatoes, cucumbers. I love to use like lemon juice, lime juice to make it more zesty and to keep the processed dressings to a minimum, because those are not always very healthy and sometimes it kind of like ruins the whole point of the salad. But man, you're being called out for your diet habits recently, okay? It is salad time for you. Then we've got exclude. Okay, exclude says here to ban a child from attending school on disciplinary grounds for a temporary, indefinite, or permanent period, to deliberately not include something. Oh, okay. So there's something here about excluding salad, something about excluding some different ingredients. That's something that I'm getting here. But I just want you to also know that if you felt excluded from loving salads, you just haven't had the right ones yet. And I know this sounds really, it sounds psychotic, it sounds strange and outlandish, but I have also had a love-hate relationship to salad. And that's the thing, it's all relative, because I realized I was traumatized in many ways with salads, because you know, when you purchase them or someone else makes them, and for example, they don't wash them properly, these salads and these greens, and then it's sandy or there's like other stuff in it, it's gross, it's disgusting. If people make salads and they're very lame, of course you will be put off to having salads. It's a lot easier when you, for example, have a burger and you can just drench it in oil and salt and deep fry it and toss all of these seasonings on it. It's a lot easier for that to be delicious. But, you know, again, it's relative to how healthy is it. So with these healthy things, I think we all naturally as human beings, we like healthy foods. But you have to find a way to prepare it that you find it really delicious and that you start to really love it. Because you guys, this is coming from someone, I am now plant-based and I eat like salads and green stuff every single day, but I didn't start off there. As a kid, I never used to eat salads. I never even had vegetables, maybe in a tomato sauce, but I would mostly have things like breads, pastas, grains. I would have a lot of meats, cured meats, dried meats, a lot of dairy as well. And I've been plant-based now for what, like 11 years or something. And I never even used to eat fruit. Like I would never even eat a banana or something like that, never even eat an apple. And now fruit is such a huge integral part of my diet and I feel so good with it. So I found how healthy works for me and how I can have less processed things and more whole foods, whether that be like vegetables or like whole things in the sense of fruit and grains. But I had to make it delish for me. And I had to realize, like, yeah, we're all different, but let's be real. Processed things are not good for anyone. And this is not a debate about to be plant-based or not. Like, I am not a dietitian, nor am I here to preach to you how to live. That is just a choice I made that resonated with me. You're going to make choices that resonate with you, and I want to support you in that. because it's really important that you feel healthy. So I chose a path that made me feel healthy, and I'm using it as an example. But you will have your own constellation of your diet, of your lifestyle that makes you feel healthy. Now, we've got fever, a body temperature that is unusually high, usually caused by bacterial or viral infections, and commonly accompanied by shivering, headache, and an increased pulse rate. Oh, group 1, I gotta tell you, if you have been suffering from a fever, if fever is something that you find shows up in your life and you don't know why, I'm telling you, group number 1, the diet. It will help you to avoid so many bacterial and viral infections. Once you get your vitamins, your minerals, and your fibers up and your body is properly functioning. So know here that avoiding fever also means avoiding more ailment. It avoids more time down. That means avoiding being bedridden, avoiding being sick, avoiding missing out on work, avoiding missing out on life, really. So your diet, man, it's so important, group number 1. And I want you to know that it's very relative what you exclude. Have more of these salads, these whole foods, and that will help you with any fever-like symptoms that you've had. And for future fevers, you will have a lot less of this show up for you. So you're meant to receive this message in order to know, okay, this is how I change my life. This is how to transform my life. If you are in a place where you're just beginning to understand nutrients and what a healthy diet is for you, just be really open. I remember when I discovered veganism, I thought it was insane. I thought it's so extreme. Why would anyone do that? Look at me now. Same with tarot. I thought, oh my God, that's so strange. How could anyone believe it? Look at me now, talking to the angels every single day, and I'm not even shook at how precise these messages are anymore. It's just the norm. So I want you to broaden your horizon. I want you to be open. I want you to know that if you don't have a lot of resources right now, purchase books. Okay, there's so much information from credible sources online, and I do recommend that if you have the resources, invest in going to a dietitian, for example. Invest in getting some blood work done to see, all right, am I missing certain vitamins? Am I deficient? Because the thing is, with your salad, you want to make sure that you don't exclude some really important parts of what will actually make it so nourishing and nutrient dense for your body. So each salad or each dish that is based on vegetables and fibers and leafy greens is of course healthy, but each one needs to be amended to the person who's eating it. Also, your ethnic background. Someone who has a ethnic background from Southeast Asia will thrive off of different foods than someone whose ethnic background is from, the South Pole, Antarctica, from Greenland. Doesn't matter, from planet Mars, but you get the idea. We are not a one size fits all, and I want you to really take that seriously and to also think of your ancestors, what they may have had as very natural meals and foods. Try those out and see how they work for you, because sometimes the mainstream media and the mainstream advice we get from dietitians, they just don't apply to us individually. So don't be afraid to experiment, all right? Don't be shy, don't be afraid. Make your own opinion, figure out what feels good in your body in a safe way, of course. Take on advice from healthcare professionals, and also look to different sources where you can just kind of fine-tune things to what works for your specific background. Of course, as human beings, we're all on average the same machine, but then we really want to fine-tune things and make it more precise so that you can get the most out of life by feeling amazing, having boundless amounts of energy, and therefore being able to accomplish your wildest dreams because you just don't stop. You keep going. Who's ever going to beat you? Who's ever going to outdo you? You know what I mean, group number 1. So I am going to clear and cleanse the space, and then we'll delve just a little more deeply into your reading. I really hope that you're also having an amazing time. I'm loving these messages that are showing up for you, group number 1. They are so specific, precise, meaningful. I'm obsessed, group number 1. So just hold on tight, and I will be right back to guide you even more deeply into your prediction. Welcome back, group number 1. Let's delve even more deeply into your reading. I'm having a blast with you here, and I hope that you're feeling just as cozy, warm, fuzzy, and at home as I am. So let's get into it. We've got winter. Now, what you've got to know here, what's going to completely change your life, is that winter and this season is the best season for you to become successful, because there's less going on, there's less noise, there's more quiet times, there's more time for you to really focus. And I want you to know that winter does not have to mean that there's snow, that there's ice, that everything is frozen. You can move into a season of winter whenever you decide to do so. So this is really deep work, deep focus, deep study mode that I'm getting here from your guides. And I'm hearing that you look really good in winter clothes too. So that helps you to feel confident. That helps you to, every single day as you leave your home, to feel like you've got this. Because let's just be real, group number 1. How you look really does matter. How you dress really does have a huge impact, not just on how others view you, but also how you view yourself, how you carry yourself, how you show up, whether you're confident when you leave your house or not. And I want you to just know here within winter that I see for you what will really change your life is to go into deep study mode. Also about how you want to appear, how you want to look, the impression you want to make, what type of clothes really flatter and suit you, and which ones that you're going to abstain from, because there are also just certain clothing pieces that you have been wearing and not been feeling comfortable in, and it's time for you to just get rid of those, okay? Donate them, throw them away. Know here within winter that also just covering up more, being more conservative, it's more elegant for you at this point in your life than to kind of show too much, reveal too much of your skin. And it's not about being conservative, it's just more about understanding that sophisticated and understated vibes really suit you. I am also getting here with winter that when things are really quiet and you can just focus on you is when you also get the most messages from your guides and spirit directly, obviously. I also want you to know here that we have got this triangle that is pointing downwards, and in case you didn't know that, this actually represents the element of water. So the element of water being represented here tells you that water is so changeable, flexible, malleable, however you would like to call it, because water has different states, right? 3 different states. So for one, we've got the liquid state, we've got the solid state when it's frozen, and then we've got the, is it called gaseous, just like gas state when it evaporates, right? So I want you to know here that water is the flexible element that you are meant to connect with on a regular basis when you feel disconnected. So taking a bath, steaming your face, getting a steam facial, eating things that contain ice, drinking beverages that contain ice, because a beverage sometimes that would be mid or mediocre all of a sudden becomes really amazing, awesome, tasty once you add ice to it. Don't ask me why, it also just feels fancier. But here, having the element of water, using it in all its different forms, I see that you have a very deep connection to it. And I also want you to remember that water carries frequency. So when you're feeling away, water amplifies it. I want you to be really careful when you are in a bathtub about your emotions that you enter that bathtub with, because you are in a body of water, also one that is not infinite like an ocean. The energies that you have in that bathtub, because your body is filling up a large amount of the tub, and the body of water is large, but your energy doesn't get lost in it, and it kind of like just the frequency radiates back. It creates waves back to your body, so waves coming out and waves coming back in. And you're going to want to make sure that you're in that bath with good energy, with positive thoughts, with thoughts that tip your scale, being heavier in the I am capable, I'm deserving, I am successful. Never get into a bath feeling bad. It's not that you will come out 100% every single time feeling worse, But pay attention to it. When you get into a bath and you're feeling really bad and you don't change your energy, it kind of does get amplified. Like you cry more in the bathtub if you already felt like crying outside of the bathtub. You only then feel a sense of relief and like, oh, that was good, I got it all out, once you're out of the water. But for as long as you're in that water and you've negatively charged it with these emotions, with the tears, it's not going to turn into an experience that is soothing or healing for your nervous system and your body. And the Queen of Crystals is indicative of a message you're meant to receive, that you decide what energy you get into the water with. You decide what kind of energy that any water that you take in comes in contact with. So even as you're drinking water, never speak negative words and phrases in the direction of the water that you're drinking, because it will take on that frequency. There were literally studies where people spoke really badly to water that they then used to give to plants. So they watered plants with, for one, water that they spoke to really badly and they cursed at and they were negative towards, and then the other water that they used to water another plant, they infused it with kind words, kind energies. And the plant that was given the water, where people used negative words to charge the water, to speak to the water before watering the plant, that plant actually ended up wilting, whereas the other plant was able to thrive and grow when people charged that water with positivity, with love, and with supportive energy. Yes, I love that our guides are right here. And I don't know what it is, you guys, but I feel like I always have guides and angels around. So I don't feel like it's just because I'm in my home and in my studio that I have some sort of ghosts or some sort of supernatural energies that hit the nail on the head in these readings every time. I mean, there's a reason why you guys say that they're so accurate, so specific, and they resonate so much. I feel like it's because I've just been tuned in for so many years into like tens of thousands of readings. Now all of a sudden I don't even need to question myself anymore, because I know we'll always get the perfect message and confirmation when we're uncertain. The Empress is representative of nurturing energy. The Empress is representative of beauty, of abundance, of motherhood as well, but also being a very fertile ground for growth. So I want you to know that it's your choice to be that fertile ground for growth. Thinking of your ventures being like those plants that get watered, remind yourself here that the energy that you live in is the kind of energy that you use to water your ventures, your ideas, and everything that you are creating. So you're going to want to more and more rest in the energy of not being available for negativity at all. Like, just be unavailable for it. Group number one, that's the best tip that I've got for you. So let's move a little further into your reading and add some letters into it. So we've got L, R, and W. Okay, into it. I do want to get something a bit more precise for you. We've also got O. So I am getting world vibes here, and your guides are trying to say to you that the world is your oyster when you're in deep focus mode. And that's really like your challenge in the next years of your life is, can you say no to people when they're trying to distract you? And it's not that they're doing so intentionally, but can you say no to the distractions of, for example, going out and drinking when you could actually be doing something that later you, tomorrow you, 2028 you, would be so grateful and thankful for. So this is about delayed gratification. And I do see here that delayed gratification for you has always been something that you were better at than a lot of your peers, than even your siblings. If you do have siblings, I want you to know that they were envious of you about you being able to focus more than they were in your dreams and your goals. So while they may have been the one who got certain accolades and praise from parents about, you know, either getting really good grades or doing a job that by society's standards is valued highly, they were always jealous of you in a sense of you being different and quirky, and once you're into something, really being able to put your heart and soul into it. They always thought to themselves that that's really cool, and that they wish they had a little bit more of that energy within themselves. So jealousy is not really something they would admit to, but I definitely see that there is some of that here within your reading, group 1. Okay, let's get into it. We've got, it's time to leave the old behind. Okay, time for a rebirth. Here within the rebirth, remember how we had the death card too, so this is further confirmation. The number 13 is also the number of the death card. It's the number of death. And by the way, the death card corresponds to the astrological sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is a very intense sign. It actually represents death and life cycles as well as sensuality. Rebirth is showing us here that you're shedding the old, you're shedding the chrysalis. So the chrysalis is actually what most of us call the cocoon. When a caterpillar is turning into a butterfly, they go into, we call it cocoon, but I think it's only cocoon for moths. So it's actually wrong to call it a cocoon if it's a butterfly, because butterflies go into a so-called chrysalis. That's what that pocket is called, where they then turn into a soup of organs and of just everything before it is then reconfigured back into their new state. And the reconfiguration results in the butterfly, which is a completely different creature than what the caterpillar went into the chrysalis as, with completely different abilities and a completely different outlook on the world and completely different potential for experiences, right? The caterpillar can't fly. It's prone to be eaten by birds, for example, whereas butterflies are able to travel much further, explore, and are probably a little bit more agile as well. So it is about taking risks as a caterpillar until you get into that butterfly state. And taking a risk means growing, learning, taking in, trying, and then you go into your chrysalis, which is the stage of transformation before you turn into your butterfly. That is what gives you the world. The fearlessness to bet on yourself, the fearlessness to look at yourself and be like, you know what? If someone else was able to do this, why not me? And that's what I want to ask yourself when you get into periods of self-doubt, group number 1. Look at what you want and then ask yourself, why not me? And I also just want to make it abundantly clear that if you are someone who is rather intelligent, then you are more prone to be unhappy, to take a lot of time to make a decision. You are more prone to procrastinate because you don't want to do things in the wrong way, and you also overthink a lot. Intelligent people are often less happy than people who are less intelligent. And intelligent people are not necessarily always the most successful, because to be successful, especially in business, you need to be able to take calculated risks and actually act on them. Not just think about them, not just see that, yeah, this is an opportunity, but actually do it. And a lot of very intelligent people never get to that step of execution, and that's their biggest downfall. And if that resonates, I want you to understand that it's time to leave the old behind. That was the old you, that was the old pattern. We have number 13, the number of death, the death of the old you. This is all a positive rebirth. The Ace of Swords always comes with a fresh beginning. The Ace always, in every tarot card scenario, means a fresh start. You guys know I teach tarot, so you would know this if you're in my tarot reader course. The ace just always represents a completely new beginning. And the Ace of Swords specifically is the ace of the mind, a new beginning of the mind, a new beginning of how you see yourself, of how you think, of how you operate, and the world that you live in from the inside out. And I do see that this is a huge confirmation for you. This reading is meant to change your life by giving you the confidence that if you're feeling a little weird right now, if you're feeling off, if you're feeling like everything is too much and you don't know what's going on, almost like you're going crazy, it's because you're going through all this change, my gorgeous soul. It's because you're going through your own personal rebirth. Don't get in the way of it. Don't stop it. Don't involve people unnecessarily who are going to make it harder on you. Instead, focus on your rebirth and know that through all of these weird emotions, you will come out the other side, reborn as, wow, also a person that so many people wish to be with romantically. The Two of Cups is the card of romantic relationships. It is the card of connections that are more than just platonic, that are love connections. And I see that in the next cycle, your love life is you being on the same level with another person because you have learned so much self-respect and so much of a higher sense of not just having boundaries, but actually having the integrity to stand on those boundaries, which means that if someone says to you that they feel like, oh, we should just be friends, we shouldn't be more, I'm not sure, it's easy for you to say, oh, I respect myself so much that I would never be with someone that isn't sure of me in a relationship. But then the real test comes when that actually happens, when someone actually puts it to the test. And that's when you've got to stand on business. That's when you've got to stand on your boundaries and your value. And when you show that you don't just say it, but you mean it, and that's integrity. When your words match your actions, that is when you become the most valuable person out there. That's when you become the dream woman. That is when you become the dream person of everyone. Because you stand on your business, you radiate this energy of, I am so incredibly valuable, I am never going to settle for less. And who doesn't want that? You guys, words cannot describe. Now we've got the World card. Did we not just talk about literally having world vibes? As I already mentioned, you guys, it is getting creepy. It's too much. Angels, universe, I can tell you're here. I'm just looking up, you guys, at my ceiling. I don't know why as humans we always intuitively think it comes from above. What if it actually comes from below? Have you ever thought that? Anyways, you guys, don't want to get into all of these weird thoughts, but it is so strange to get this confirmation at this point in time. And I'm calling it strange because it's almost unreasonable how accurate this is. It's almost from another world to be able to capture this on film, to be able to shuffle in front of you guys and just show you tarot is not just woo-woo stuff. Tarot is such a deep tool for growth, self-reflection, and healing, and to receive the confirmations at the right time when you need them the most, to give you that confidence boost to take those next steps forward in creating the most absolutely wildest, beautiful experience that will be your life. So I am so ecstatic that we received the World, which is a card of fulfillment. It's a card of having more than enough, having everything that you desire, wanting for nothing, and being fulfilled. In correlation to the Two of Cups, you had to hear this to change your life in a way of giving you certainty, because one thing you were lacking a little, group number one, is just the certainty of, yes, I can expect the most amazing things. My life is, of course, going to be one of the most amazing stories, whether it's a love story, a story of who I'm going to be professionally, the lives that I'm going to touch. And the Ten of Blades in reverse, let me just show you this card upright, which is a very dramatic one. The Ten of Blades is definitely a card of like, okay, we are done. We have overextended ourselves. And a little bit of like this victimhood vibe as well. But then when the Ten of Blades shows up in reverse, it is actually just showing us here that you're done with the struggles, with the overextending, with the burdens. This next chapter is really about affluence. This next chapter is really about being in control and having acquired a lot of wisdom throughout the years of where you were not in control, where affluence was something that you helped others gain, but you didn't help yourself to do the same. So the tables have turned, the tables are turning for you, group number one. and I am beyond excited for you. And I loved this reading so incredibly much. I can't even put it into words. And if you loved it just as much and you made it all the way to the end of your reading, leave a world emoji below. So a globe emoji, because that's the only way myself and others would know that you were here and that you received this tarot card reading. This was incredible. This was wild. Also, of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're still here. We clearly vibe with one another, and I don't want you to miss out on any of the upcoming readings either. And if you would like even more, if you would like to be connected each and every day through a daily reading, to have access to videos that you can't find anywhere else but within my courses and my membership, check it out. It's the first link in the description box. I have a daily reading membership, and I also have courses where you can learn the tarot, you can learn to create your own decks, and you can also learn to manifest wild amounts of abundance into your life. So group number 1, all can be found below in the description box. Just know that I love you all so much. Thank you for sharing this divine time and space with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, my gorgeous soul of group number 2. You chose the Orion's Animal Tarot as well as the Citrine crystal. This is the gorgeous citrine stone, and I can't wait for us to get into this life-changing reading together. My name's Vanessa Somuayina, in case this is the first time that you're here or receiving a tarot reading. I have been doing this for years. I've got tens of thousands of readings that I have conducted on and offline, and if you like this video, make sure that you subscribe to never miss out on this healing as well as enlightening experience of receiving a tarot card prediction. Now, let's get into it and figure out precisely how your life is going to change and what kind of life-changing information that Spirit has prepared for you within your reading. So first up, we've got the Hanged One. This corresponds in the traditional tarot to the Hanged Man. And do you know what this means, group number 2? This means right now, just watch and wait. Don't do anything. Don't jump to any conclusions. I'm hearing that there is a little bit of skepticism that you've got about this reading. Is it really going to be life-changing? Is it really going to give you information that is new, that is different, that is going to be insightful? And Spirit is trying to tell you right off the bat, just give it a chance. Just give yourself reflection for healing. This is self-care for you to receive this reading, and allow for the information to reveal itself. Be open to what you're going to receive and hear within this tarot reading, within this psychic prediction that is clearly meant for you, because there's a reason why you're here, and there's a reason why you chose this group, and you are currently watching your reading. So let's see what Spirit wants us to carry on with. We've got the Five of Pentacles. Group number 2, if you've been dealing with something big financially, so by big I mean like a loan, a car note, a loan that you took out in order to purchase a home, a loan for your studies. I want you to know here in the Five of Pentacles, in correspondence to the Hanged One, you're not alone. There's a lot of people who are in the exact same situation as you are, even though sometimes you feel like you're on this remote island, and when people are having fun and they say just relax, you're not able to relax because, well, your thoughts are racing and you have worries, and you also worry about your health. You worry about the people around you and for how long you will be able to have access to your loved ones. You're definitely a little bit of a overthinker. May I say you are a bit of a hypochondriac as well, and that's where, in connectivity to the Hanged One, your guides are trying to say to you, chill out, group number 2. You're not the first or the last person to go through this experience, and rather than stressing and fretting, there are so many ways in which you can make yourself more comfortable. And I see here within the Five of Cups card that we received next, that for you, there is this direct correlation between your finances and your health not being as abundant as you would like them to be, and then stressing out emotionally and even crying more, even having more outbursts, more rage, more anger more behavior that you're not proud of. And your guides want to say to you that because you know yourself so well, you can stop this. You don't have to deal with this. The Hanged One shows us that there's a reason why you got this message of just hang in there. Okay? Spirit is trying to set us up to give you an idea of what's going on, of how well your guides and your angels know you. That's why we're being set up by talking real talk, talking about these things that are not easy, that can be a little uncomfortable. I mean, nobody likes to look in the mirror in this way, but the fact that you're still here, it just shows that you're a person who values honesty and self-reflection, and who really wants to grow, who really wants to better themselves every single day, and to do something about the areas of their life in which they feel like they just haven't learned to fly or thrive in. And Spirit, please tell us precisely what group number 2 needs to know to change their life for the better. So next up, we've got the 5 of Swords. The number 5 is constantly showing up for you. The number 5 of Swords shows pivot. It shows go away from the negative influences. Remove yourself from the haters, from the ones who are doubtful. Do you see how this ray is kind of leaping away from the sharp swords here that we've got around the ray? And what this represents is that anyone with a sharp tongue, anyone who complains a lot, anyone who is often in their feels in a way that doesn't inspire you to believe in yourself, please, group number 2, distance yourself immediately. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And today you're hanging out with me, you're hanging out with your guides, and I want you to limit your hangout time to people who inspire you. Also, 555. Don't be surprised if the number 5 continuously shows up within your life after you have received this reading. And the number 5 points you in a new direction of letting go of these connections where you felt the more you grow, the more friction is in these connections. You know, when you're growing and you're actually becoming a person that you feel more proud of, that you feel is actually using the experience and the wisdom that they've gathered in this life to better themselves, to create a better future for themselves. And then there are people who will feel kind of insecure around the new you because it holds up a mirror to them and shows them the work that they haven't been doing, and it makes it very evident that you have been putting in the work, and people don't like to feel uncomfortable. Again, there's a reason you are still here, because even through discomfort, even through this reading that started off with telling you, well, you know, you're a bit of a hypochondriac and you have increased stress levels that need to come down, you're still here. You're still wanting to learn, you're still wanting to delve deep, and that's what makes you different from others. Because a lot of people, as soon as they've got to look in the mirror, they would rather walk away. So within separation, that's what separates you from the crowd. That's what separates you from mediocrity, group number 2. That's what separates you from being like everyone else. We've also got the number 2 depicted in many ways, right? We've got 2 of these birds on 2 sides, and then we've also got 2 of these gold nuggets. And I want you to know that separating yourself is essential for your growth. Separating yourself and knowing that it is actually true and proven that the people you hang out with have a profound effect on your life. There are studies that show that if you hang out with people who are more successful than you, you tend to also become more successful. You tend to also find ways to make more money, to get more professional accolades, to be seen as someone who is successful because you get more ideas of how to put in the work to actually earn those spots. And within the wise salt, I also want you to know here that the more you kind of put yourself in circles of people who are affluent, people who are very intelligent, who professionally speaking, you can say with certainty that you wouldn't mind being more like them, the more you actually see some micro changes of you becoming this person where you even shock yourself, like 6 months ago, you may have never even thought too deeply about what you're putting in your body. Now you're reading the ingredients lists and you're checking out supplements. You're into biohacking. You know what biohacking even means. You're into all of these things like dry brushing, like using gua sha, like using crystals on your body, like rolling out your skin with, you know, these like wooden tools, rolling out your muscles, your limbs, making sure that you are combining foods properly, that you are lifting, that you're doing progressive overload on the areas of your body where you would like to increase muscle mass. And you're just like, damn, I'm really like elevating myself to a different tier, to a different echelon. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. Those who do, do. And I see here for you, group number 2, there is no judgment, but Spirit just wants you to know, like, you're not judging people, but please, like, you are not meant to hang out in a group of ducks when you are a swan. And it looks weird. It's becoming more and more obvious. The more you as a swan are forming into this beautiful, white, elegant creature, the more you've gone from like baby swan, which are brown, which look a little bit like ducks, not that much, but a little bit. The more you are stepping into that, the more evident it becomes when you're around ducks that you just don't belong there. And as I already mentioned, it's not about judgment, but it is about, let's just be honest, let's just be real, let's just call a spade a spade. All right, we have 2 cards that popped out from shuffling, and guess what? The 7 of coins and the 7 of swords. So the number 5 showing up 3 times, and then we also have the number 7 that showed up here twice within 2 cards right after one another. The 7 of coins shows us that you are on a path to gaining so much wealth. You are on a path to gaining a lot more material resources than you currently have. And why this is happening is because you are becoming cutthroat. You are not to be played with when it comes to business. Like, you are the kind of person who understands if you're not going to be cutthroat, someone else will be cutthroat and then get those gains. And they will literally cut anyone's throat, including your own, not to sound really dark and vile, but you get what I'm trying to say. And you've really learned that in this world, when you take yourself out and you try to be courteous and you try to, you know, open doors and allow for others to go through, and then once they've gone through, they kind of hold the door open for you, you're learning that in this day and age, that doesn't really happen, especially if coins are involved, especially if there are professional gains or it has to do with money matters. Then it's like each individual is just like their own island, their own person, and you can't count on anyone to be loyal. And it is unfortunate, but you're learning that when it comes to work, there are no friends. It is just all business. But the 6 of Wands also shows us that once you get used to that, and it can be hard if you're the type of person who gets very attached to others, who actually forms real relationships. So it took you a while to learn that everyone at work, while they may be super nice and pretend like we're buddy-buddy and friends, nobody really means it. They're still keeping an emotional distance from their colleagues, but you really meant it. You really were friends with people. You really did feel like, no, we have a connection, until you realize that actually you're one of the few people who are genuine, who have a deep connection, and who would even forego some of their own personal gain in order to make sure that you both make it. So you're the type of person where if you can both make it, you and a colleague or someone you're working with that you're close to, that you really appreciate as a person, and you see them as a real friend and you get along with them really well, if you can both make it and say get 90% of the additional money or gains, you would choose that over only you making it and you getting 100%, so that extra 10%. You would rather see everybody win because you know for the long term that is going to be the best outcome. That is what makes you feel good. You are just a very, very generous person. And it's hard for people like you out here, group number 2. I get it. And I want for us to protect you at all costs, but I also need you to protect you at all costs, because your big sis, i.e. me, I am not always there every single day when you're in the workplace, when you're dealing with people who are beasts, who are animals, who are hunters, who are predators. And you have to learn to deal with these people without any fear, without any holding back, without any kind of trace of doubt in your own abilities in your mind. Because honestly, when people smell or sense that you are a little insecure, that's when they go in even more. And I see here within the Emperor that that's exactly how Spirit needs you to behave. That's exactly how your guides are saying, channel this energy in this way. It's going to change your life. Like we have here with this crown, this mountain. I love this tarot deck so much. This is the Spectro World Tarot. I purchased this by myself. This is not in any way sponsored. I just love how colorful it is and how it gives us this kind of psychedelic vibe. But coming back to the Emperor, it represents having a hard head. We have these ram skulls here. We have a mountain depicted here, which also shows strength. It shows being solid. We have got the crown here, which has a lot of jewels, so regal type of energy. We've got pillars that have all of these swirly details. And we have a path that leads to the crown. So not everyone is allowed to access your energy. There is a path to getting to you, okay? And you have to qualify for that path. Then when it comes to the workforce and your vibes that you're exuding, generally speaking, really amp up from being someone who is so humble that they can sometimes be mistaken as a doormat, to someone who has this Emperor energy, okay, this queen or king energy. Watch your life change. Watch yourself become the person that others are mesmerized by and that others respect so deeply. Because it starts with you. You teach others how to treat you. And when others see how you treat yourself, that indicates to them how they are allowed to treat you. And next up, we've got the Magician, which is the first card of the Major Arcana. All of you who are in my How to Become a Great Tarot Reader course, quickly how to become a tarot reader within a month, how to also eventually monetize your skills, become a tarot reader who conducts readings for others, and so on. I want you to know here within the Magician, the thing is, so many people gatekeep, and I don't. Group number 2, I cannot stand the gatekeeping in the tarot community and in the spiritual community. Like, oh, you have to be initiated into tarot, and you can't just learn tarot. You have to have X, Y, or Z. It's like, who are you to say that to someone who is genuinely just passionate about tarot, who is genuinely passionate about spirituality? Like, how do you know that they are not a magician just waiting on the sidelines, waiting to be initiated? How do you know that they're not the next tarot reader who's going to change people's lives for the better? And that's where here within the Magician, I just want you to know that in so many ways, people have given you this gatekeepy type of feeling. And over time, it starts to wear off at our confidence levels. And we kind of feel like, oh, well, I don't know if I should get this tarot deck or if I can do these readings because, well, I feel like I'm not qualified, and this imposter syndrome is what I'm getting. So not just for tarot, but for your professional life in general. And Spirit wants to say to you, this imposter syndrome, it's unnatural. It's something we learned from society. If a kid would grow up in a bubble in which nobody ever shamed them, they would not understand what feelings of shame or guilt were. Shame and guilt is something that we learn by being within human society, because that is where it is perpetuated and that is where it exists and lives. It does not exist if you are in a circle of people who say, you know what, there is nothing such as shame, you can't make any mistakes. There's only freedom in this kind of circle. However, in the real world, we very quickly learn shame. We very quickly learn to hide ourselves and our gifts or to doubt them, which is exactly why Spirit is saying to you, it is Emperor time for you, group number 2. It's time to step out of the shadows, out of the sidelines. It's time for you to remember who the F you are. You are the Emperor of your life. You are the moment. You are the vibe. And when you show that you believe you are the Emperor of your life, everyone else believes it too. Okay, people are just waiting for you to step into your highest self and, okay, group number 2, to sell, to be bought in large numbers, to increase the sale of or the demand for a product, to make an idea or proposal acceptable to someone. Just know, in order to increase the sale or the demand of yourself in the job place, in romantic relationships, like showing that there is a huge demand for you, showing that you are valuable, and anyone who misses out on you and had the opportunity to have you as part of their life, I want you to know, in order to really sell that, we need Emperor energy, we need Magician energy from you. Magician energy is the energy of the number 1, as mentioned, the first card of the tarot, and in numerological terms, the number 1 is a number of a leader. The number 1 is a number of someone who puts themselves first when necessary. The number 1 is the number of someone who is innovative. The Emperor corresponds to the number 4, which is a number of stability. That is a number of fatherhood and structure and authority and regulation as well. So being someone who has a structure, being someone who has routines that they reinforce, that creates discipline, that makes you more confident from the inside out. So try it yourself, group number 2. If, for example, your goal is to work out every day in some way, shape, or form, it can be a walk, it could be going to the gym, it could be, for example, a little jump rope session in your home. When you actually do that for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a whole month, you start to develop a sense of confidence that just talking is never going to get you. When you actually walk the talk, when you actually do these disciplines and you have your own practice, you create a deep kind of discipline and confidence that you can only get through repetition of hard things that you don't necessarily want to do every day, but you still do it. So it could be working out, it could be eating healthy, it could be making uncomfortable phone calls. It can also be, for example, reading or meditating. And the more you do that, the more confident that you become, and the more you are actually investing in yourself and in your future. Because who you are and where you are right now, that is a reflection of the choices that you took yesterday, the day before yesterday, last month, last year, 5 years ago. And who you're going to be is a reflection of the decisions that you make from here on out. So when you make a decision that you know is going to correspond to delayed gratification, so like eating something healthy today, feeling good tomorrow, and 3 months down the line, looking your absolute best, that is where it's at for you. And when you have this in place, when you take action now for your dream tomorrow, actually selling, it's easy because you radiate the energy of success. You radiate the energy of someone who doesn't just talk, but of someone who's got integrity because they do what they say they're going to do. And you don't have to say it. You don't have to explain it. It is just clear. Group number 2, it is just abundantly clear. And there will be no questioning. There will be no what ifs. There will be no, yeah, but I'm not, no. Especially if you are someone who sells a service, especially if you're someone whose income depends on you selling yourself to a degree, the more confident you become, the more reassured, the more you're in this Emperor energy. And I mean with reason. And by with reason, that means because you can, because you're actually doing it. I mean with evidence to prove that you are this person. When you can back up who you are explaining that you are, when you can back up why your services are the absolute best, number 1 in the entire world, because you believe it, because you live it every day. Trust me, success is something that is assured. Success is something that is inevitable. That is the only way you're going. You're only going up. That's all. And it just being up from here on out, group number 2, I want you to know that that will come with the responsibility of understanding that that is the type of energy that you use to create business, create funds, create a income, create richness. But wealth is then a different type of energy that is more slow. Because decisions that you make and attitudes that you use in order to generate money and become rich, that's quick. But wealth likes slow thoughts, movements, and decision making that is thought out. So wealth would be investing, for example, in a rental that you can rent out, investing in stocks, investing in bonds, and investing in different companies, for example. And you're going to want to take your time with that. But when it comes to selling, that is a quick process once you've gained the confidence of the emperor. And once that rolls in, the prosperity, the funds, the abundance, you'll start to realize, man, why did I ever doubt myself? I should have just basically like shut up, to say it in a very direct way, to say it like your big sis. You should have just shut up, sat down, read your book, done your workout, done your daily due diligence to increase your confidence from the inside out in a way that you can't fake. And there's no looking in the mirror and telling yourself that you're awesome, you're amazing, you're confident, that can compare to you actually taking action on the things that are uncomfortable, doing it anyways, and just knowing like, okay, you want to beat me, how? You want to outdo me, how? You want to provide the world with a better service, how? Because I know I'm number one. So that is what we've got here that's going to completely change the trajectory of your life, group number 2. If you've made it to this point within your reading, make sure that you leave a sun emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here, that you're part of group number 2, because that's the only way we would know. A sun emoji, or you know what emoji I also really love? A crown emoji. We'll do both for group number 2. So leave a crown or a sun emoji below, because that's the only way anyone would know that you are part of this exclusive reading for group number 2. Because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clear and cleanse the space, and then we'll delve even more deeply into your prediction. You don't have to lift a finger. You don't need to do a thing. Just continue to lean back and enjoy your life-changing tarot card prediction. And I will connect with you in just a second again. My lovely soul of group number 2, welcome back. Let's delve more deeply into this life-changing reading of yours, because by the time we're done here, you're going to have so much information, so much precision, so much divine intervention from the universe that you're barely even going to know where to start, but in a good way, because you're going to have so many bits of information that give you guidance so you can move through life with newfound confidence. So we've got a postcard here from Spirit and your angels for you. It says you are a divine beauty. Your 2 cents from heaven sent directly to you in this reading. So let's see what your guides have to say, shall we? Dearest you, we're a chatty bunch over here, always talking about how to support you in your life's journey. We communicate to you through the language of oracles, dreams, signs, metaphors, and omens, and may I also ask tarot cards. In your life on earth, however, clarity in your communication is essential to being understood. You don't speak in symbols, and if you did, you would definitely confuse things. Right now, you're facing a situation in which you're being asked to have integrity, be clear, and learn how to ask for your needs to be met. The first step is to admit out loud that you have needs. The second is to ask out loud for them to be met. And the third is to allow the other person, organization, or even for us to answer you. When you follow these steps, you can most definitely expect an answer. In your favor, affirmative, we say. Loving you so very much. I love this very loving but yet still precise message that we've received from your guides about asking for your needs to be met. And first and foremost, can we not even like shy away from saying that we've got needs? I'm just putting the rest of the postcards away, because why is it deemed by society as almost like it's something negative to have needs? We are human. We all have needs. We all have things that we desire. We all have basic needs that need to be met so that we can even feel safe. And I want you to know that there's no shame in that. And anyone who makes you feel ashamed for having needs is probably toxic. They're perhaps a narcissist, because it reminds me of this one time I was seeing this person, and every time I would say that I had needs, or every time I would kind of tried to communicate my love language, because I felt almost embarrassed to communicate it, because he made me feel like there was something wrong with my needs. He made me feel like I was asking for too much, or I was being like a bad person for having needs and trying to express them. And looking back, I'm like, that's exactly how narcissists and really dark people shame you into never getting your needs met and not voicing them because they want you to feel like there's something wrong with that, or like you're this burden, you're this person who wants too much, you're this terrible human being who's like a person who's very shallow, especially if those needs have something to do with things or something to do with some needs being met that cost money. And I see here within the semi-square that just causes tension. So your guides are literally here in the room with us because you can't get any more precise with these messages. You can't hit the nail any more clearly on the head here within the semi-square, and showing that all that does is create tension in you, tension in the situation. It's not really a long-term predicament you can be in if you're being made to feel like your needs are too much, if you're being made to feel like your needs are ridiculous, or for some reason like you shouldn't have any, you should just be okay with whatever you get. No, we literally, when we are just okay with whatever we get, that is when we're signaling like, yeah, we're not worth more to ourselves in this life. And you really do get what you allow. So it's about not allowing something that you don't want and making that really clear. And here within Vesta, I want you to know that once you have found that flame, that fire within you, that is not just okay with anything, that is not okay with getting whatever is thrown at you, but all you're gonna quote unquote settle for is what you want, nothing below. Of course, we're always open for more or better, but you're not going to settle for less. Once that fire is ignited, group number 2, you're never going to come back down from that place. And I want to almost call it like a throne, because I envision you on a throne. Again, the crown emoji, leave that below in the comment section. I envision you on a throne, and once you've stepped into your queendom or kingdom, you're no longer even going to be below with the quote-unquote peasants or peasant problems, which is the semi-square, where there's a lot of tension, clashes, fighting, which is very, very low vibrational. But you've stepped up to this element of Vesta, these pillars, this kind of very elegant version of you that knows what they want, and everything that doesn't fit into that box is just a no for you. And you have to allow the other people, the organization, your guides, to have your needs be met. You have to ask out loud, because sometimes when you don't voice what your needs are, but you expect them to be met, that can be a little delusional and toxic in itself. And we're honest here on this channel. It's not like I'm just going to tell you everything that you do is perfect. Of course, if you just expect for someone to read your mind, there are better approaches to that. But I just want you to know that if you voiced it and your needs are not being met, like, it is your right to stand on business and to leave and to not allow it and to not accept it. So let's see what Spirit has to say here with our letters, because I love this because it's just always so precise. So we have S, Y, H, E, and I. All right, so one thing that I'm getting here is shy, and then we have I. So shy, I, group number 2. Do you sometimes shy away from eye contact? I know eye isn't spelt as in like, you know, eye physiologically, but you know what I mean. We can also call it shy eye. If your name has a I and an E in it, then this is a double iteration of you being a shy person, of you being a little bit of a introverted person who doesn't like to put themselves out there too much. But I want you to know that if you're sometimes shy to look people in the eye, especially if they're very successful or very attractive, this is a trait that you can work on. And with time, when you put yourself on the same level mentally as everyone else, that will dissipate. So to be very frank with you, what this shows is that to an extent you still put some people on a pedestal, and we are built in a way that has almost become normal, especially with, like, you know, celebrity culture and so on, with social media, putting certain people on pedestals. And it can make us shy, especially when we see those people in person, shy to look them in the eye. But I want you to know here It's not a big deal. It's actually kind of cute, especially when you're crushing on someone and they can tell that you have a little bit of this like crush vibe about you. It is really, really cute. It makes you very innocent. And then we also have E and O. So let's add into this reading. All right, so what I'm getting here is C and then hi and yo, which is kind of interchangeable, isn't it? Because saying hi to someone is just like basically saying yo. So I want you to know that the message we've got is that when you see people and you have an opportunity to say hi, to say yo, to say what's up, do it, okay? Don't be shy. Start to practice being a little bit more outgoing. It's not that you have to change everything about yourself, group number 2, but just being a little bit more outgoing, being a little bit less of an introvert and feeling less self-conscious about who you are and your communication, feeling less self-conscious about how you look or your communication skills. It's all going to be very helpful for you to actually live the life of your dreams, because when you're in hiding about what you really desire, it's actually in the end, no one's ever going to really have known what you wanted from them. And there's always going to be this question mark for you as to, should I have done more? Should I have said hi to that person? Should I have made the first move? Should I have tried to rekindle that relationship and that connection? And I want you to know here that it's okay to make the first move also in love, to make that first move once. But if from then on out you feel like you're the one exclusively doing the chasing, that's when you have to also step back and understand, again, we allow certain things and that's how it continues. So whatever you allow continues, whatever you allow becomes your life. So if you allow someone to put you in the position where you must chase them, that is how that relationship will continue. And I want you to give things a chance. If you feel like then it becomes one-sided, then you stop. Then you put a full break into the situation to make sure that it's very clear this is not the dynamic that you were looking for. This is not the type of dynamic that you want to accept. And it's just overall not the vibe for you, group number 2. And there's nothing to feel self-conscious about. I want you to know that actually it says a lot about you to be able to go up to someone, especially if you've known that person from like middle school or high school. You know how some people, they just ignore you. They wouldn't even say hi to you. Seeing them after like 10 years, just bumping into them, and they'll pretend like they don't know you when you still are the person who is classy enough to not be rude and just pretend like you don't know that person. It says so much about you, group number 2. And here within our next message, this is what we've got for you. I wasn't always like this, you know, I had to create who I am. We've got the witch, and your guides are trying to say to you to become the magician, the witch, the creator, the creatrix of your life. You've got free will to create your life and yourself in however you want to. But if there's one thing that you shouldn't skip out on, is to remember that while a lot of people allow for their environment to create them, they just react to their environment. You create the environment around you. You create from within, and that then changes your environment. So the more you change on the inside, the more your environment changes. The more successful you become on the inside, the more on the outside you are hanging out in successful environments. That doesn't just have to mean, for example, expensive restaurants or hotels or expensive flights or expensive train tickets, expensive vehicles. I mean, a successful surrounding is, for example, being out in nature with clean air that you would never get, for example, in a very busy part of town. So a successful surrounding means being surrounded by people who love you, people with whom you don't have to question whether they actually really like you and have your back. That is success. So here we've got emotion, honoring the flow of all the emotions. This shows us here some different pairs of eyes, or are they the same, but just different states that they're in, right? Group number 2. So this is about processing. This is about your sensitivity. This is about becoming clear on how much your sensitivity and the way that you process changes your life. Because when you process things in a way that you focus on tipping the scale on the good side. You focus on everything that you have to give and not allowing for life to harden or callous you. That is when you learn to honor that, yeah, life will sometimes make you cry. Life will sometimes have its moments where you feel like you were in such a gentle and caring soul, but there will also be so many moments where you'll be thankful that you never allowed anything to change you. You'll be so thankful that despite what you've been through, you've never allowed that to make you a bad person or someone who doesn't care about others. And that in itself shows so much strength, it shows so much depth, it shows so much beauty that you radiate in a way that cannot be bought and also can barely be learned. It's either you've got it within you or you don't. I have my full set of runes here, and I'm going to intuitively allow for Spirit to guide us towards a rune that you need to receive. We've got Berkana. Berkana is actually the rune of birth. It's the rune of new beginnings. It's the rune of liberation and growth. That's what we've got here in Berkana. So what will also change your life is when you see the person and you know they're the one, you know that's who you're going to start a family with. That's who you know is going to be co-parenting with you. That's who you know you're going to go through the trenches of life with, but also through the incredible highs that still lay before you. Let's see what else that we've got here. Group number 2, Spirit has for us. Okay, so here within this rune, we have Manas. Manas is the rune of your culture, yourself, making your own traditions and norms and kind of creating your own culture, if that makes sense. And what I see here with Berkana and Manas showing up in your reading is that, you know what, group number 2, while your lineage may have had some traditions that you never really vibed with, you're making your own traditions with your own future family. And almost like your own little celebrations and things that you're doing. If you never really loved how your family, for example, celebrated Christmas, you're doing it differently. If you never loved what the weekend routine in your family was and how your parents treated you, you're making sure that you've got a different kind of routine and different traditions that you're instilling in your family that you know you would have wished that your parents would have done. Just more caring, more understanding, more of a seeing things eye to eye than being yelled down at. You know what I mean? So let's see what we've got here. Rare. Group number 2. We can't make this up. You're a rare breed. Thin in density and containing so little oxygen that breathing is difficult. Rare meat has been cooked for only a short time and is red inside. So let's just make sure we're in focus here. So that is one way to describe rare. For you, group number 2, rare also has this meaning of being a rare breed. Of course, rare in the sense of you're very much alive, right? You're not cooked at this point. Rare very much as in like there is life force pumping through you, blood and so on. But rare, it also shows us here that you're a rare person to see. So don't be surprised that some people stare at you because you've got a rare combination of features and energy especially. The energy is what sets you apart from many others because when you enter a room and you notice people stare a little longer at you than they do at others, it's because you've got this rare breed energy. It's because you've got this energy that hasn't yet been so tampered with by society and by trying to fit into the norms, because in many ways you have existed in your little bubble for quite a while, and it makes you so different than people of society, people within our society who are completely bled out and who have been cooked, who are like dead in their eyes. If you've ever looked at someone and you're like, their entire life force is drained, it's like they just don't have that spark anymore in their eyes. There's nothing there. But you're the complete opposite, and that is rare. That's something that you don't see very frequently anymore. So let's move a little more deeply into this group number 2. Okay, we've got shift. So let's make sure we've got shift and focus. To change positions on a baseball diamond to respond to a new batter or forestall an expected change of tactics by the opposing team. So shift Of course, if baseball is on TV, and baseball is something that you like to watch or are forced to watch, I want you to know here that actually what we have with the shift and rare, because in the English language, we have different meanings for the same word, which I love because it gives so much room for connection. So rare being your birthright and your default way of existing also means that when people come in contact with you, they shift. You know, when people with you, their energy changes and it shifts. And I want you to stop giving this out for free, because the thing is, when you always give it out for free, all of a sudden people value it less. For some reason, humans value what they had to work hard for and what they had to pay a lot of money for. They do value these things a lot more than if they get something for free. And if they have got to get a quote on top of that, oh man, they really, really value what they can get when there had to be a quotation first. So with the quotation, I want you to know here that what we've got is that you need to put a quote out and then decide if you want to even accept that person. So it's like you're this exclusive membership, exclusive property, and you tell people, look, this is the quote. This is what you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to be consistent. You're going to have to be on time. You're going to have to respect my boundaries. You're going to have to be an open-minded person who isn't a hater. That's the quote to be around me. That is the quote for me to even consider having you around and in my life. Now, you go and think whether you can pay that price. And then you come back and let me know what your offer is. And if I like what I see, if I like the offer, then you might just be accepted. So that's how I see that Spirit wants you to change your life, wants you to operate in a new way. Please apply this to your business. Apply this to your personal relationships. These readings are meant to give you not only insight, but also to spark inspiration in how you can shift and mold things to serve you, to serve your business, to serve more people, to increase your income, to increase the healthy connections that you've got within your life. All right, this is here to heal. This is here to support. I am here to ensure that you reach your highest version of yourself. And I will not stop until that is completed. I will not allow you to continue on a journey where you're not seeing that you need to put that price up and then add tax. All right, group number 2, you must start to understand your worth, and you have to start putting out these quotes. Okay, you have to start giving people quotes. You have to shift from thinking you're the norm to understanding you are rare. That's a very direct message that we've got here from Spirit that you are being called to embrace. And the fact that you are someone who is friendly to everyone, we've got C, hi, yo, we've got you being someone who's classy and elegant, but that doesn't mean everyone's going to be your friend. Just because you are someone who is elegant, you are well-mannered, that doesn't mean that you don't know your boundaries. And that combination is lethal, group number 2. And I see that you are one of these rare people, these rare breeds who have this nice, nasty combination where you are so sweet, you are so innocently, beautifully nice, but man, if someone tries you, you can give them the nice, nasty, and without even knowing that they were insulted, it'll take them like 10 minutes to realize after you have nicely insulted them what even happened, and they're going to be like, damn, I really messed up with that person. And you're just going to remove yourself because you don't need to comment, you don't need to announce, you just make the moves. So group number 2, this is the reading that I received for you. I hope that you enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful. Make sure that you let me know below in the comment section that you watched all the way to the end. Do not forget to leave that crown emoji below in the comment section as well. That way myself and others know that you were here, that you received your reading. I'm sending you so much love, group number 2. Don't forget to check out my daily reading subscription where you also have access to exclusive videos, be it pick a card reading videos, videos on manifestation. It's all linked in the description box. If you want to learn tarot, I am the perfect person for you to learn from because I have been doing this full time for years. I do readings every single day. Check that out in the description box as well. And the library within my courses and within my subscriptions, they continue to grow. So once you're in, and you'll have access to all of the new content, even for years to come. So group 2, thank you so much. Wherever you are in this world, know that I'm sending you so much love, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of our upcoming readings together. Hello, my stunning soul of group number 3. You chose the Sacred Feminine Oracle as well as the Black Obsidian Crystal. My name is Vanessa Somuayina, and I am your reader today, and of course your big sis from the internet that's going to give it to you precisely how the messages need to be revealed in order for these to change your life. This is all of the sacred information that you need to know. There's a reason why you're here right now. There's a reason why this is the deck and crystal combination that you chose. So let's see precisely what your guides have to say to you. Oh wow, we've got committed. First and foremost, I want you to know that what will absolutely change your life is that you will be in a committed relationship or marriage with a soulmate with whom that commitment is mutual. So a mutual commitment where there is loyalty, where you both refrain from any kind of infidelity, where you both want to tie the knot just because you understand this is my person, this is my soulmate, this is who I want to be with. And we have these white flowers, which are a representation of innocence, which are a representation of both of you never having been in a relationship like this, never having been in this type of soul tie commitment where you understand that you're genuinely good for one another. You're not just using these spiritual woo-woo terms of soulmate and twin flame in order to actually continue to form a trauma bond, but what you're doing is that you're using these terms because they actually feel good from the inside out. And for so long, group number 3, I can see that a huge part of you has been neglected in romantic relationships. It's like you were in relationships where you still felt alone because your true needs and desires and the parts of you that were so vulnerable and needed love and care felt neglected. You didn't really feel heard and understood up until this commitment that's going to absolutely change the trajectory of your life. So I want you to understand that it's not always something bad to go through trauma such as emotional neglect or neglect in love. Of course, it's not funny. I don't wish it on anyone, but sometimes the lows make us truly appreciate when we find someone genuine and someone whom we can tell can really, really love us how we need to be loved and who is genuinely generous. All right, that's what your guides want to communicate to you here in your reading. It's about generosity, and generosity has nothing to do with money per se. Generosity is about how freely do you share your emotions, how freely do you share time, do you share resources such as your wisdom, such as all of your knowledge, such as, for example, a helping hand. And because you are the kind of person, group number 3, who is so generous themselves, you not being with someone who is equally generous, I mean, it's a crime, you know, it's basically a flower wilting. That's what it's like to watch you in one of these relationships with someone who is just not emotionally mature or available. So let's move a little more deeply into this, shall we, with our astro dice. Okay, so here we've got Mars for you. In case you didn't know, Mars rules Aries, and it's the planet of assertiveness. It's the planet of making things happen. So I have you attracting Aries energy and just Mars energy being strong, which means your love life is always going to be very fun, if you know what I mean. It's always going to be interesting. You're always going to have a good intimate life in this relationship and marriage. Then we've got Aquarius. So Aquarius being part of this person's personality, this person's Mars placement, potentially even, it shows us here someone who knows what they want and they go for it. So I see you meeting someone in person. You are not going to meet your forever person on one of these apps. I like to say to you guys, like, get off of these apps because it's like you're putting yourself out there for them to select you momentarily, but it's so easy to just swipe left or right or wherever and then just pick someone else as soon as you say one little thing that they don't like. And the apps don't capture how mesmerizing you truly are. I want you to know that your forever person is definitely someone that you will coincidentally meet in person. Your paths will cross ways. And I want you to know here that because we have this very assertive, almost aggressive, dominant kind of Mars energy, and we have that in Aquarius, which is the sign of, let me just be real, craziness, okay? Aquarius is very independent. Aquarius is not afraid to be rebellious. Aquarius can be extremely detached. So Aquarius is just going to disassociate from feelings of rejection and fear and come up to you, talk to you, and the rest is going to be history. I see here within the moon, group number 3, that your intuition is going to be really important in this relationship because you'll intuitively know that you found the one. And this is life-changing information due to the fact that on many occasions you asked yourself whether your intuition is trustworthy. On many occasions you've asked yourself, all right, but can I really lean into this? Can I really trust my intuition? Or am I just going to end up alone because I'm being too picky? And that's where you've got to have this conversation with yourself, just as we've got these two individuals here at the shore of the beach. They're having a deep conversation. Around them are these clams that have come alive. We've got the symbol here of the lobster, which also represents emotions. We've got the stars that are aligned in a way that represents two wolves that are howling at the moon. And this is also about just being real with yourself, about being deceived, and how you can completely forego that in the future. And deception and love are very close and very linked to one another, because I think in many ways people or deceivers have learned that empaths, believers, and carers are the type of people who take words very seriously. If you're the type of person who places a lot of emphasis on words, group number 3, which I feel that you are, I want you to know that deceiving you is something that people have tried to do with words, and maybe they've been successful too. But the thing is, now that you know, you're going to focus on action and you're going to detach from taking words too seriously. Hence also how we've got the Queen of Cups showing up for you. The Queen of Cups is the Queen of Water signs, group number 3, which is the Queen of the element of water, which represents your emotions. The Queen of Cups is someone who is really nurturing, really generous. So you're not going to allow for your experiences to harden your heart or to make you someone who is super distrustful of others. But you've learned your lesson in so many different ways. And wisdom is learning a lesson and then not repeating the same mistake, not having to do the lesson again, basically, right? And that's what you're on here. And your guides can tell, you're not playing about your time anymore. You're not playing about your heart. You're not playing about commitment. Either you're in or you're out, and you're either going to show it or it's just not even going to be a thing between us. That's the kind of energy that I'm getting from you. And the 3 of Swords shows us here that there are hearts that are going to break. And I'm happy that you're breaking these hearts, group number 3. I'm probably the only tarot reader in the world who says this. But you know what? Better to break their hearts and their hopes of deceiving you. Better to break people's hearts who were like, oh, no, I wish I could have at least had a chance to taste this person, to experience this person. And I find that so vile, group number 3, that so many people, they don't want to invest, they don't want to actually be with you, they don't want to actually respect you, they just want to experience you. And the fact that you are not allowing that anymore, you are not a commodity, you are not the kind of person who is just here for lust and to be experienced, you're not an experience. I love this boundary being set by you. And I want us to move a little more deeply into your reading using letters, group number 3, because Spirit likes to be very precise when it comes to words. So we have D, U, A, and I. So I am getting duality vibes, but also Dubai. Okay, the only thing that we're missing here is a B, basically. So Dubai and generous. All right, is someone being flown out to Dubai, or is there a generous person in Dubai that you will click with, that you will get married to? We're going to figure it out. And then we also have AI. So within AI or IA, however you'd like to place it, artificial intelligence is a great way for you to alleviate some stress at your work. Use it more often. You'd be surprised how many different tools that we've got out here. And then we also have EE. So E, A, and I. Spirit, can you please just stop playing games? Just tell us what's happening for group number 3. So we have Z and then P. All right, so we've got two things here. We have got Pi as well as Zia. And I want you to know that it is a beautiful, timeless girl's name. So if you're looking for baby name inspiration, Zia is unique, it's beautiful, and guess what? It means grain, wheat, life. It is a beautiful choice of a name because it has these origins of the grain and the wheat, which connects your child to the oldest whole grain crop in the world, which was also meant to represent life in the olden times. Because, well, if the crops are not harvested or not grown properly, how are people going to eat? And also, how are we going to bake pies? But all jokes aside, I just want you to know here that what Spirit has as a message for you in Pi and Zia, so we've got the wheat and we've got Pi, which is obviously also something you can eat, which nourishes you, which is seen by many as unhealthy, right? Wheat and gluten and so on. But unless you are extremely gluten intolerant, Spirit is trying to say to you, don't feel bad every time you have pie. Don't feel bad every time you have wheat, every time you're in a situation where, okay, you're going to have the cake, you're going to have the pastry. Like, what's the point of having it if you're not going to feel good while you're eating it? What's the point of having it if your entire body is tensing up because, well, you know, everyone on Instagram only like drinks these green smoothies? Like, please, Spirit is trying to say to you, group number 3, enjoy life to the fullest. Stop feeling like everything you do has to be comparable to this kind of perfectionism that we see on social media and in the media. You're not a robot, okay? You are a real human being with real feelings, with real wants and needs and things that you love, things that you dislike. And after all, these foods exist in order to also give us a little bit of joy, don't they? They exist because they're yummy, they're tasty, and yeah, it just feels good. So reward yourself. Have an extra cheat day. Have an extra cheat meal. And know here that there is nothing that is worth giving up the happiness of, all right, let me just taste that a little bit. Unless, of course, you're really allergic to it. Group number 3, like, please don't say that I told you to go and eat peanuts, even though you're highly allergic to peanuts. That is not what I said. Do not take that out of context. But what I'm trying to say is, like, enjoy some of these pleasures that life has to offer guilt-free. That's what we've got here for you. The great goddess shows us that group 3, you needed this message of understanding that great goddesses, they don't deny themselves of pleasures that they want. They simply learn to integrate those pleasures and to enjoy them fully, to be in the moment with these pleasures and to not feel bad about the pleasures. Now, not feeling bad is something that you can practice, but it can also be an immediate thing. You can immediately say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to stop feeling bad about anything that I enjoy, any of these pleasures, because why should I feel bad about it? Tell me one good reason. I'll wait, group number 3. But in all honesty, here within the great goddess, your guides are communicating to you that the person who is meant for you, they will see you as such a great goddess that when you're around them, you'll notice they are kind of really nervous around you. They feel small around you compared to being around anyone else. So the person that you'll end up in this committed marriage with, even after years, they still get nervous around you. They still blush because they just can't believe they found someone as amazing as you. And here we've got the message of, I wasn't always like this, you know, I had to create who I am. And when you find that person, you're not going to doubt whether you deserve them or you deserve the connection, because to you, you're like, I wasn't always like this, I had to create this. It wasn't an easy process. And I'm not going to feel as though, oh, do I deserve this love? Do I deserve this marriage? Do I deserve this beautiful wedding? Do I deserve this person who loves me endlessly? You're not going to question their obsession with you because you worked hard to be who you are. You worked hard to get yourself to this place. You worked hard and did everything by yourself alone. Through the times where you had to cry yourself to sleep at night, the days you didn't even want to get up in the morning. And then what? When you find someone who actually sees that and values that and appreciates that, that's when you're going to start questioning, oh, is this real? Do they really mean it? Nah, group number 3, nah. We're not about that for you. And I see here that the sense of newfound confidence, of this very deep confidence of just not even allowing those low vibrational thoughts anywhere near you, that is life-changing, because old you would have never. Old you would have been like, oh my God, do they even really like me? Do they even want to get married to me? Do they even love me? But man, how things are changing for you. We've got the moon again. Isn't the moon showing up twice so indicative of the fact that there's something going on here with your intuition? Group number 3, you have psychic abilities. The moon showing up twice is very unusual for a tarot reading. And the moon represents those who have psychic abilities, those who have a very strong connection to the moon and its cycles, but also a psychic intuition that is like no other. The moon is actually also representative of having this intuitive, changeable Pisces energy. The astrological correspondence for this tarot card is actually Pisces, in case you didn't know that. Pisces is sensitive, but oh so psychic as well, which makes sense as to why you would even be sensitive in the first place. And I want you to know here, group number 3, that this connection to the moon means that every time there's a new moon or a full moon, actually you have this feeling of insomnia, and it's because you're so deeply connected that these energies come to a culmination, so that when there's a full moon or a new moon, you're like, oh my goodness, these energies are so much. You may not have realized that it's because you're so connected to the moon, but now you know. And then we've got the 10 of coins and the 2 of swords. So your guides want to say to you here, first and foremost, in the 10 of coins, there is a lot more coming for you professionally and in a financial sense that will fulfill you. So your hard work is paying off, and I want you to know that this Dubai trip is really something that's happening for you, especially if you've never been. It will be unexpected, but it's happening. Okay, we're going to Dubai, we're going to the United Arab Emirates, we're going to experience what everyone has been speaking of. Now, the 2 of swords shows us here that you have decided to live a life of leisure. You have decided to live a life away from people who only cause disruption for you, and you have decided to live a life where you enjoy whatever it is that you want to enjoy, right? We spoke about that in pie, in zia, in the wheat, in things that contain wheat, or things that are, oh, they're not healthy, or like every fitness guru says it's going to bloat you and is bad for you. Okay, but like if I have a little of it just because I enjoy it, life is also about enjoying. It's not just about perfectionism. And the 2 of swords, in case you didn't know this is actually a card of avoiding some blocked emotions, which we'll get further into as we delve deeper into your reading. So we'll delve into what kind of blocked emotions that you were avoiding that actually stalled you from this commitment, and how you're freeing yourself bit by bit. Because I do want you to know here in the 2 of swords that for a long time, and you weren't ready yet for this kind of commitment, but for a long time, because you allowed people to overstep your boundaries and to experience you rather than to really cherish you and prove that they're in it for the long haul, that was kind of blocking your blessings. That was blocking you ending up in this committed relationship. But we all go through this, so don't even beat yourself up about it, group number 3, because this is so normal. But it's so beautiful that you've come to this strong stage at this point in your life. Some people never learn this, or it takes them a very, very long time. So next up, we have got the sock, a soft, usually knitted covering for the foot and ankle that may reach as high as the knee. It is usually worn inside a shoe. a hard hit or blow, usually with the fist. So the sock has different meanings. I want you to know here that when you travel, and I'll put it over here with Dubai, please wear those compression socks, okay? We're not doing blood clots, okay? Please make sure you wear those compression socks. Please make sure you take off your shoes in between and you've got clean socks, fresh socks, just to give your body a little bit of a break on this flight. And I want you to know here within the sock that we also have this hard hit or blow with the fist that is represented in the sock. And seeing someone be struck is something that I can see that it hurts you. The Queen of Cups shows that you are just someone who is so caring. So when you hear that one of your close friends was struck in a physical way, oh, it's going to break your heart, honestly. And here within Found, we have this verb. Found is to establish and organize something for the future, such as an institution or business, to support something such as a conclusion with evidence or reasoning. So quite literally founding a company, quite literally founding something that will produce wheat for you, right? And wheat gives life because it's food, because it means nourishment. So the company that you will found, the next company you will found, if you've already founded one, it is going to create wheat. It is going to create nourishment, and you will intuitively know this. You don't need to ask for anyone's permission. You don't need to wonder whether it will be successful. It will be successful. It will produce crop. It will produce wheat. Found it, group number 3, and then keep working on it. Don't give up. Okay, the reason why a lot of people found and then fail is because they start to question, they start to ponder in inaction. Business loves speed. Money loves speed. And when you start slowing down is when everything starts to just become more challenging, and then you start to lose faith in yourself and your decisions, and you make even less decisions. So I don't want you to go into that spiral. As someone who has established a business and has a little bit of experience when it comes to running a business, I just want you to know, found and go full force, and don't stop going full force. If you cannot go full force, employ somebody to go full force. Because if you're not going to be fast, you might as well be dead, basically, when it comes to business, because everything changes so fast. Everything develops in such a quick way. You've got to keep up. And it's also a big decision. If you're the kind of person and you just know you want a life of leisure and so on, don't found this company. Don't found another one, because you're going to have to be fast. I see that whatever you do, it's going to be successful. But the question is also, do you even want that? Because there's no point being the CEO, founder, or owner of a very successful company where you have to work every single day doing stuff that you don't actually want to do, when you could have a life of leisure and have a regular job where you have regular working hours, or you can even be a stay-at-home if that's part of your journey, if that's part of your story. So you are founding you. Group number 3, you are the founder of your story, you're the founder of your path, and you get to pick. And I want you to know here that it's most important that you pick something that you love rather than only pick based on what you think will make the most money, because as long as you love what you're doing, that is going to create money, that is going to create income, and you can't last in something that you don't like. Even being a stay-at-home, you may have an amazing idea on how you can create something as a stay-at-home that's another stream of revenue, and before you know it, you are actually creating monthly revenues that are higher than someone who maybe has a great 9-to-5. So know that that is all in the cards for you, my gorgeous soul, and your Dubai trip is going to enamor you to a degree where you see new possibilities and you see what others are doing. And it gives you more belief that this can also be your reality. This can also happen for you. So group number 3, I am now going to clear and cleanse the space. Please do leave a pie emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here, that you're part of group number 3, because that is the only way that anybody would know. If you've watched to this point and you leave the pie emoji below, and of course you've got to have selected group number 3 and felt drawn to this group, to leave the pie emoji in the comment section. So do that. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel while I now clear and cleanse the space, and then I'll be right back for us to delve more deeply into this life-changing information that you need to uncover here within this tarot reading in order to move forward feeling more confident, healed, and secure. So group 3, I'll be right back. Just continue to relax. Give us that pie emoji in the comment section, and I'll speak to you in just a moment. Welcome back, group number 3. So let's delve a little more deeply into your reading, shall we? We've got our divination board right here, and I want us to get into this with a couple charms. So let's see what Spirit has to say. We are going to intuitively pick some charms for you, and we'll see where they land. Oh, okay, we have quite a few different charms right here. I'm going to hold up the board so you can see what we received, and we also have this little downward dog charm that landed outside of the frame. Aside from that, we've got them all here on the board. So we've got this Hamza hand right here, and we've got this hand right here on Virgo. Then we've also got our planet here on Yes, as well as the key. So key to unlocking on the Yes. And we have this, I want to call it like a kitchen knife on Wednesday. So your day to slay, but also your day to meal prep and cook. We've got this ship's wheel, or is it called ship's helm? I'm not sure anymore, you guys. It is here within the center of our divination board. Then we also have our anchor, which landed right on Aquarius. And we have the sea star here in February. So we have some information that shows us that when it comes to signs from your guides, Virgo as well as Aquarius are giving you more stability than you ever expected. And I want you to know here with Aquarius, having an anchor in Aquarius is rare because Aquarius is pretty changeable, group number 3. And with this hand here within Virgo, we have you feeling held. We've got openness. I will put our downward dog charm into the middle of our divination board. So what I'm getting from Spirit right now is that for you to unlock the next chapter of your life, we have to figure out where you're going. I see that here with the ship's wheel, and the best day for you to figure this out is on a Wednesday when you've had enough food, when you feel relaxed, and to just take the evening or just take a moment when you have some free time, depending on your work or study schedule, and map out how you want the next months of your life to look like. Here within the anchor, as well as Aquarius and February with our sea star, the month of February is the month in which you will find that actually the energies around you are the most potent to lock someone in. So to get married, to have them propose, and to have them reach out and want to interlock hands forever. So the month of February is the month of commitment for you, my gorgeous soul of group number 3. And what you have to know, what is going to change everything for you, is that in so many ways, you are unfortunately giving a lot of people more access to you than you should so early on. I see that with the key here and with our planet and Yes. So it feels good because obviously you're an open person, you're a giving person, you're a caring person. So it's natural for you to be open. It's natural for you to want to connect with others. But unfortunately, humans are wired to only really appreciate what they had to work very hard for. And Spirit wants you to make people work a little harder for you to have access to them and cut them off a little sooner once they do something that you can tell your husband or your best friend would never do to you. So axe them off because it's not going to go anywhere from there on out anyways. Next up, we've got the envelope. Now the envelope is about something that surrounds or encloses something else, a covering that encloses and protects an animal's body or a biological structure, a shell or a membrane. So here within the envelope, there is this envelope that you're going to get in the mail that is going to give you information that will give you this sense of certainty. So your envelope opening up and reading what's within that envelope, you're going to like what you read. And let's see what else Spirit wants to say to you. Okay, so we've got remind to tell someone again about an event from the past or about a fact that they used to know, to help someone to remember something that they have to do. Wow. Here with the envelope, you're getting a love letter, group number 3. You are getting a love letter to remind you about everything that you've been through in this relationship, in this connection, and how much they miss you, how much they wish that you could be together again. So this envelope, I know in this day and age, people don't really do letters, but I want you to know that this will be a handwritten note. So not just a WhatsApp message or a Instagram DM. It will start that way, but if you are strong enough to ignore that DM and that message from an ex situationship, then you will actually receive something in the mail that they made by hand. And wow, powerful. The Two of Cups is the most powerful relationship card within the tarot. It is a card that shows two cups pouring into one another. The Suit of Cups corresponds to the element of water, which represents relationships and everything that has to do with your emotions. And the Two of Cups is about romantic relationships and respect. And my issue that I'm seeing here with the Two of Cups showing up here is that the idea of the envelope and the reminder is to pour into one another. But why I'm saying I have an issue with this is I want to know, what is the past, group number 3. If you felt deeply disrespected by someone who is coming back into your life and trying to make a reappearance, what you have got to hear is that you either need to make it exceedingly difficult so they have to prove themselves, or you may go through the same fate again with this connection. Because unfortunately, a leopard rarely changes its spots. I want you to know precisely why your guides are like, I'm getting a little red flag. I'm not sure if this is really for you. So be careful and know, group number 3, that words are just that. They are words. If someone is lacking action, then don't believe it. Don't trust it. If you don't want to get hurt, just only act on what someone does, not what they say. So next up, we have got the Hanged Man for you. Stay put, just observe. Spirit wants to communicate to you that now is a time when it comes to romantic relationships to just observe. See what they do. Don't jump to conclusions based on what they say. Just see what they do. See how they react. See how they try to actually make something happen between you and them. See how they try to actually put in effort. Because if there's no effort that they're actually putting in that is tangible, what are you going to do with those words? You're going to eat them. You're going to have them keep you warm at night. You're going to, go to the altar with his words because he said he wants to propose to you. He wants to marry you. You're going to stand there at the altar, with your WhatsApp chat and be like, look, he said he would marry me. Yeah, okay, but he's not there. You know what I mean, group number 3? So here within the 8 of Swords, this is actually a message of being very real with yourself, okay, of coming to just the conclusion. Oh, excuse me, group number 3, here we go. Just coming to the conclusion, like, you are not a fool, you are not a clown. You're done with the words and all you want is action. The 8 of Swords shows that coming to that conclusion means taking a seat and just observing. And then we've also got the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords is actually a card that reveals liars. It reveals when someone isn't honest. It reveals when someone is making ish up, group number 3. And I want you to know that what this means within your reading is that all lies are going to be revealed sooner than you ever expected. Everything will come to light that you had a feeling about, but you were never 100% sure. Group number 3, but you will receive the confirmation that you need, and you're gonna go like, see, my intuition was right. My intuition was really on point about this person. That's what I see here for you. And I want you to know, group number 3, that the black obsidian is a crystal that protects you from any kind of negative energies and spiritual harm. So don't worry about that whatsoever, as this is the energy that we've been enveloping you in, right? Remember, we've got the envelope. So I just wanted to remind you of the fact that there's a reason you're here. There's a reason you're receiving this reading. There's a reason why we're vibing with one another, and you are getting this peace of mind sent to you by your guides. Now, group number 3, I'm going to clear and cleanse the space, and then we'll delve even more deeply into your reading with absolutely all the information that you need that will change the trajectory of your life for you. So all you need to do is continue to lean back, relax, and enjoy your psychic reading, and I'll be right back to guide you more deeply into your prediction. Welcome back, my gorgeous soul of group number 3. Let's delve a little more deeply into your reading, shall we, to figure out all of the life-changing information that you've got to receive right now and right here. There's a reason why you're still tuned in. There's a reason why Spirit is still telling me, look, the gorgeous soul of group number 3, there's still so much more to get into that group number 3 needs to know in great detail. So let's see what those messages are. We've got postcards here with basically Spirit's 2 cents for you. You see, we've got your 2 cents from heaven. I love these postcards. So this says wild love. Let's see what your message is. Dearest you, as you think, so will you experience life. Thoughts are that powerful, and they need minding. Let the unruly, chaotic ones settle down so they serve you or get released instead of wreaking havoc. These thoughts arise when connected to the energy of fear and often masquerade as truth. Yet the real truth is that essentially all is well. Of course, you have thoughts that are positive, strong, organized, accepting, creative, open, and so on. Those are the ones we want you to keep thinking, and they have a less frantic quality. They're stimulating in a good way and don't get away from you. How do you keep an inner eye on your thoughts? Meditate and leave judgment out of the mix. Everyone has those fearful thoughts. Love them, love yourself, and then choose the thoughts you want the world to reflect back. Life is not as hard as you think. Loving you so much. Group number 3, I literally just got out of my meditation this morning where I did a visualization of my dream life and where I want my life to go. I visualized where I lived, I visualized the car that I was driving in, I visualized the type of work that I did. I literally visualized it down to having created beautiful music that the Unicorn family loves, and to obviously continue to provide readings on a higher level, like having more of you in my daily reading membership so I can provide even more value for you, having more of you subscribe to my YouTube channel in a way that I can, again, dedicate more time to creating content because I'm able to do things such as outsource simple tasks that I'm doing by myself. So part of it is manifestation, part of it is quite literally also knowing that all of it is possible, that if you can think it, you can achieve it. And Spirit wants to remind you that your thoughts are magnetic, your thoughts are powerful, what you think you truly do become, and you cannot feel greater than you think and think greater than you feel. Okay, it works together. If you're feeling really crappy, you cannot think positive thoughts. Try it out. If you put yourself in a position where, okay, I'm not feeling great, you don't think positive thoughts. And positive thoughts do not arise when you allow yourself to feel crappy. I understand sometimes there's no control over these situations. If you're going through extreme hardship or you're grieving, of course you're going to feel heavy-hearted. However, in meditation and in visualization, you have the opportunity for a moment to redirect your thoughts into a more helpful kind of energy, a more helpful kind of vibe that allows you to steer clear of negative thoughts, that allows you to kind of move away from this thinking where you are the victim of life and you are just only dealing with grievances. The Seven of Cups is a card that represents having options, and that's what your angels want to say to you. At any given point, you have the option to focus on something unsettling or really challenging that has happened to you, but you also have the option to say, okay, I grieved, I had my time of feeling down, but I've also got to remember, this is my life. I've only got this very moment. Grieving isn't going to do anything for the person or situation I'm grieving over. It's not going to do anything for me after I have already invested a certain amount of energy into that. But what will do something for me, the world, and everyone that is in touch with my energy in my life is if I choose to focus on the good thoughts, is if I choose to focus on the thoughts that are positive, strong, organized, accepting, creative, open, and so on. These are the ones that you want to continue thinking as your guides have communicated to you in their postcard with their 2 cents on what you should do in this particular situation. And the Hierophant shows us a ram, and this is a representation of being hard-headed and stubborn. So group number 3, if you have been a little stubborn, or let's just say it this way, it's not necessarily your personality trait to just be stubborn, but your mind has been a little stubborn. Your mind has been saying to you, no, we want to continue these thoughts that we're used to. Your mind is like, no, I am used to thinking a certain type of thought. I am used to feeling a certain type of way. I am used to feeling upset during this certain time of the day. I am used to feeling down and out during this season of the year, and I am going to continue. I am not now just going to stop. No way, no how. And I want you to understand that once you become the master of your thoughts again, once you get them back in check, my gorgeous soul of group number 3, then there is no stopping you. Your mind loves routine, your mind loves repetition, it loves the familiar, and it gets addicted to the chemicals that are produced when you are feeling kind of off, when you're feeling kind of down and out, and you do get addicted to negative emotion. And I want you to know here within the 7 of Swords that your guides can see that there are some negative emotions that you have become addicted to, and they want to free you from that. They want you to release that. They want you to find the way out of this. The swords represents thoughts. It represents your inner landscape of your mind. And as we can see here, we have the spider trying to navigate this. Whether you like spiders or not, that's not what this is about. But understand the spider is trying to get out of this tricky situation. And the spider has, well, 8 legs, as you know. And it can be really challenging for the spider to do so. It can be challenging because, well, the 8 legs, the fact that these are really, really sharp blades, and there are many of them. So it can be tricky to get yourself from how you currently think to a greater version of thinking. But overcoming the habit of being yourself and your thoughts is what is truly, truly going to change your life, group number 3. Now, the Knight of Wands is a representation of having the courage to step out of the known, having the courage to step out of the choices that you have made so far, and the courage to even say to yourself, yeah, you know what, the things I don't like about my life right now, I am part of who created those. Of course, some of it is quote unquote just faith. Some of it is something that I drew in from the quantum field that I didn't have 100% control over. However, taking responsibility for where you are right now is actually going to create a kind of energy where you also take responsibility for great things that are coming for you next. And when you take responsibility for the positives too, you get a certain sense of pride as well, because you realize it's not all bad. It's not all taking responsibility only for challenges, only for bad things. Let's see what else that Spirit has to say. So we have DSFO. So I want us to add a few more letters into your reading, group number 3, for more clarity. And then we have JOE. So I'm getting food over here, first and foremost. Jess can be short for Jessica. It can be actually just the name Jess, but we may also have Spirit trying to say yes, all right? And food is a big yes for you, my gorgeous soul of group number 3. So food being a strong yes for you, if you have struggled with your relationship with food, I want you to know that you're not alone. This is something that a lot of us have struggled with, and food can start to become a full body yes again. I also see the name Joe or Joe's. So if there is a place that you're driving by and it's called Joe's, all right, so Joe's pizza place, Joe's sandwich place, Joe's bike shop, I just want you to know here that that is a sign from the universe that this reading was undoubtedly for you, and that it's also time for you to delve more deeply into food, its composition, and how you can make food work for you. That means for you, group number 3, that you also look into the fact that one size doesn't fit all. We all have very individual needs. How I react to wheat will be different for how you react to wheat. How I react to things such as certain fruit, like citrus fruits, will be a different reaction than how you react to it. And it may also have to do with your ancestors. It may also have to do with your ethnic background, all right? Because someone who is from Africa is going to have a different natural diet that suits them well than someone who is, for example, from the northern parts of Canada, from the northern parts of Russia, just as an example. So I want you to be very clear on the fact that depending on where you're from on planet Earth, you will have a different ideal diet, and different things will affect you in different ways. So, of course, there are so many amazing dietitians out here and people who have so much knowledge about food, the composition, and what kind of food groups and pairings are ideal for you to have. It also depends on your blood group. You can eat according to your blood group. Did you know that, group number 3? So this is about investing more time and energy into learning your ideal diet, because when you learn your ideal diet, you actually become so powerful because you've got way more energy than when you're consuming a diet that leaves you feeling tired, where you've got insomnia, you can't get to bed at a good time, it's hard for you to get up in the morning, you feel sleepy throughout the day, you need a midday nap, or at least it feels that way, you can't focus. So I want you to know here that your diet is everything when it comes to intense fatigue. And I am not a dietitian. This is just my personal experience. But I have found that once I started to actually prioritize my energy and my health, and rather than succumbing to the temptation of having certain foods that I knew didn't make me feel good, like for example, eating a lot of pasta for lunch. I loved it. It was delish, and just thinking back at it, I understand why I was so addicted to these types of grains and wheats and having those at lunchtime, because it's just like so easy to make, it's yummy, it's scrumptious, you can pair it with amazing sauces and so on. But I just noticed that the connection of having so many carbs, for example, in a bowl of pasta, and then pairing that with a sauce that maybe was also a little oily, that had a little bit of fat in it, it made me so sluggish and so tired to the point that I could not get through the afternoon without an afternoon nap. So the lunar god is really all about that energy of stepping up into your highest power and taking control of your body rather than letting your body control you. Because how often have you, group number 3, just allowed your body to control you, and you just said, oh, well, I'm not feeling good today, and today I'm too tired to do X, Y, Z. And I understand that once you truly are too tired, or your body really is experiencing some digestive issues, some IBS, some like upset tummy and a bit of a headache, it's hard for you to then go out and do something. But it's about prevention. It's about lessening these symptoms and reminding yourself that you are in control of a lot of this, because often this is just a reaction to what you put in your body, how you live your life, your stress levels, how you sleep, how you go about your day-to-day routine. It's not that your body by default is always in a headache state. It's not like your body by default has irritable bowels. It's not like this body that you were given by the universe, your angels, God, whoever it is that you feel your body was given to you by. It's not like it was given to you in a faulty state where, yeah, you have to feel subpar. That's not true. The waning crescent 4 gives you this powerful push to release any of these unhelpful thoughts that are trying to put you into victim mode of like, well, you know, my body just doesn't work well. No, it's just about what kind of fuel are we putting into the body. If you put the wrong kind of fuel into a car, you won't go very far either. It will not be able to operate at an optimal level. It will not be able to drive properly. Things might start to smoke, explode. The car at some point won't move, and you'll have to constantly go to the mechanics, almost like when you constantly have to go to the doctors and you're asking yourself, why isn't this working? Why am I feeling this way? The doctor may try to repair something, repair you, the car, your body, the vehicle, but they won't realize that the issue is how you're maintaining it. The issue is that you're constantly putting the wrong fuel into it. They may see that and tell you this. However, if you continue to go out and mix up the fuels and you don't take it seriously, you'll end up again at the mechanics, aka the doctors. So group number 3, your guides want you to really take your health seriously. It's not a joke. All right, life goes by so quickly at the blink of an eye, and you really want to be out here knowing that you could do something about missing out on life, but you're not doing it. You could do something about not having these days where you feel really, really sluggish and down and out, but you're not doing it. Oh my God. Is Spirit trying to play some sort of joke on us? I mean, Spirit, you're a little rude today. Spirit is calling you foolish, unsure about the appropriateness of one's actions or speech, showing or resulting from a lack of good sense of judgment. A lack of good sense or judgment. I'm baffled. I'm shook. I thought nothing can shock me anymore in these readings, and that it's actually even shocking we can capture this on camera. I mean, the details. You guys, the accuracy. Like literally, Spirit just saying to you, are you insane? This is so foolish. Spirit literally saying this is foolish behavior. I mean, this is comical. This is funny. I feel slightly attacked and called out, but I also love it. And just to show you guys, so this is my pouch with all our different messages. I mean, there are more in here. You saw me just pull one of these intuitively. So to say that these are coincidences in these readings, you guys, the connection, you cannot make this up. You guys literally doing this live, you know, pulling your cards, making sure that everything is shuffled right before you, because that's the kind of reader that I am. And it's just, it's crazy, you guys. So next up, we've got first. First is the ordinal number assigned to item number 1 in a series, the one positioned before any other in an achievement, rank, quality, or time, the lowest gear in a motor vehicle. So you're going to want to remind yourself here that Spirit says it's foolish to not first work on what you're putting in your body and how it's affecting your body and what kind of output you're even able to do before you do anything else. So before you think about meditating, before you think about yoga, before you think about working out, first the diet, first the food. Food should heal you. Group 3, there are literally certain herbs. There are literally certain things you can buy in the supermarket, whether it's ginger, whether it's basil, whether it's thyme, that have healing properties that your ancestors already used in different ways. Fennel, for example. There are so many ingredients that you can take in, whether it's making a salad dressing out of it, whether it's putting it into your smoothie, whether it is using it to create some sort of tea, some sort of healing beverage. Group number 3, take this seriously. Like, your guides are literally calling you out here and foolish, saying if you don't do that, you're so foolish. And I love how direct that our guides are on this channel, and that's why I always tell you guys, I'm your big sis from the internet who just says it to you how it is, because the kind of connection that I have with spirit and the divine is also a very no nonsense connection. As you guys can see, it's undeniable. And I love that we're here to witness this, and I love that we're here to be real with one another so we can become the best versions of ourselves, so we can change our lives for the better. If we don't change our lives, what are we even here for? You're not here on earth just to suffer, live a, for you, mediocre existence, retire and die. That's not the point, my gorgeous soul. The point is to go through some huge transformations, to think back on your life a couple decades from now and be like, yeah, at that point, my life changed. When I did this, everything changed for the better, and I hit a new high. I hit a new amazing kind of version of myself that I didn't think was possible. And yeah, I remember when I was on that island with, you know, my best friend, and I did these crazy things. When I met your dad somewhere in mainland China, when I was backpacking through the Himalayas, that's when we fell in love. You know, whatever the story is, group number 3, we just need you to have the story. Spirit just wants you to live. And to live, first and foremost, you have to have the energy. And the energy comes from, well, what you put in your body. So that's why we've got food right here. So my gorgeous soul, I'm going to clear and cleanse the space because I do sense that we have a few more messages here for you that are going to change everything, that are going to be extremely insightful for you. I want you to continue to lean back, relax, and enjoy. Feel free to leave a food emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you're part of group number 3, that you feel called out, but you feel called out in a loving way and in a very real, caring kind of energy. And group number 3, you don't have to lift a finger, you don't have to do anything, just continue to relax and enjoy this really in-depth prediction that I've got for you. These guides are nuts. Group number 3, let's move a little more deeply into your reading. I am obsessed with your reading. I love it. I'm having the best time, and I hope that so are you. So let's get into this. We have this card that represents the rune of Uruz. This is the rune that stands for strength. It also represents the ox in animal form, and it is a rune of power. So Spirit wants you to know that, all right, you've gotten your diet in check, you've gotten the food stuff sorted out. That's when you become extremely powerful and where nothing can stop you. So no one will be able to tell you ish, group number 3, basically, once you become this unstoppable version of yourself. And I want you to get out of your own way. Stop feeling embarrassed about the choices that you've made when it comes to food. Stop even having anything unhealthy. Start to love healthy foods. It was really hard for me as well. Trust me, I did not come from a background where I even ate fruit and vegetable, and now we are 11 years plant-based, and I'm eating a mostly whole food diet, but I have literally still made a lot of huge improvements in the last months, you guys. This was not an overnight thing to go from processed wheats, grains, everything basically being beige and brown that I used to eat, to now actually eating fruit and vegetable and actually liking it. It was a journey, but I want you to know you are a badass, all right, darling? Don't you remember you're a badass? Keep winging it. That's a message that your fairy guide godmother is bringing you in your reading. The reason you're receiving this message is to give you the encouragement and the knowledge that all you need to do is keep winging it, keep going for it. All right, you messed up with something, who cares? Tomorrow is another day. Next week is another week for you to try. The difference between a winner and a loser is that a winner is just a loser that didn't give up. There's no difference, all right? We all have a similar kind of opportunity for life. So if you are able to watch this video, which means you have some sort of access to internet, which means you have some sort of access to a device, you are already fortunate. I promise you there are millions of people out here who don't even know what a device like the one you're watching this reading on looks like or feels like, who are starting from a place where I gotta say, you know what, we are not all made equal. But if you are watching this video, you have opportunities, you have resources. There is no excuse why you cannot live the life that you want to live. Now, here in the Great Goddess, know that what comes for you is a transcendence. The Great Goddess brings us the keywords of transcendence, divinity, Shakti. So this moment of enlightenment, of understanding, yeah, let me step out of this thought that everything is so hard. Life is not as hard as it seems once you get the hang of how to be successful. There's a reason why successful people, they emit a different type of energy. If you've ever been around someone who is wildly successful and you've kind of been in their aura, you will have realized they have a very different type of energy than the person from down the street who's always complaining and who does not see themselves as successful and who by no standard is someone that you would deem as successful either. Success looks different to all of us, but let's just be real. Successful people on average, they have a different vibration, they have a different energy, they have a different mindset and tone of voice. They see things in a unique way. And I want you to know that you were not put on this earth to suffer. You were put on this earth to be successful. We have the Ritter der Stäbe, which in German means the Knight of Wands. Look at you slaying. Look at you in this life, reminding yourself that success needs action, and success is all about being quick in that action as well. So not being scared to take action, to take leaps, to move forward, not being afraid of what is before you and trusting that whatever lays before you, you have got all of the tools that you need to deal with it. You've got all of the weapons that you need to protect yourself and to slay any kind of dragon that may be in the way. Next up, we have the Ace of Cups. Now, in the Ace of Cups, Spirit is also trying to say to you that this badass energy is inviting new relationships into your life too. The Ace of Cups shows us here that the more you're this badass, the more you will connect with people because you'll go out more. For me, for example, being a badass means in September, there is this entrepreneurs event in Zurich. I went to one last year where I met the guy who puts it on and his gorgeous wife, and I loved their energy. I stayed in touch with them a little bit, and guess what? He's now invited me to be a speaker in front of over 100 entrepreneurs here in Zurich and to speak on content creation on the panel as an expert in YouTube. Isn't that so amazing? Isn't that amazing how that connection was made through putting myself out there, getting out there, being a badass, going to entrepreneur events, and putting myself out of my comfort zone. Understanding that for one, I am a spiritual being, I am a tarot reader, I am a yoga teacher, I'm an author, I'm all of these beautiful, soft, creative things. But what I also am is a kick-ass businesswoman. What I also am is someone who is an entrepreneur who wants to create jobs and opportunities and products that make people's lives better. I want to touch millions of lives through my YouTube, through my tarot decks, through my online courses, and I want everyone's life who has an encounter with me to be better after the encounter, post-encounter with Vanessa Somuayina. I love that I'm using my Gentle Heart Tarot deck just as I'm speaking of this. So here in the Six of Diamonds, it's actually time for you to give. It's time for you to give your time to events that you usually would be too afraid to go to. Spirit is saying go online, check the local events for things that interest you but are slightly out of your comfort zone. For me, obviously, entrepreneurship interests me, but it's out of my comfort zone to be in a room of mostly men who work in industries such as tech, insurances, things like that. That's what Zurich is known for, banking, insurances, and tech. It's not really a creator's hub or world, nor is creativity really encouraged within the system. So for you, it might be something totally different. If you're an artist, all right, go to a workshop for your craft, for literally arts and crafts, for oil painting, for pottery, for crocheting, for scrapbooking. There are literally meetups where you can meet new people, make these new connections, and what it will do is it will drive you forward with new opportunities. Who knows what the additional connections are going to be that I'm going to make once I have had my speech in September at this meetup, once I have put myself out there at this growth hacking event. So if any of you guys are from Zurich, make sure that you join this event. There's going to be so much value at it. There's going to be myself as well as 3 other speakers who are going to speak on growth hacking when it comes to business, entrepreneurship, and social media and content creation. And I want you to know here in the Chariot that, again, it's not about what field, what area, what you do. It's about the fact that when you continuously put yourself out of your comfort zone, you will see how magical things happen, how magical things come your way. And all of a sudden, it's like you won't be able to even stop it, because it's going to be so many blessings that you're attracting that you become magnetic towards. And you're going to think to yourself, man, I should have done this sooner. And I don't want you to get to 50, 60 years old and think to yourself, I should have done this sooner. But now I don't have the energy because I didn't put the proper fuel in my body, and my body is now not working properly. And now I feel like I'm old. Group number 3, it's never too late. You're never too old. But at the same time, why not start now? And as your big sis, I'm not going to allow you to feel like what we've got here in the 10 of Swords, to feel down and out, to feel defeated, for Spirit to see that you're just kind of at your wit's end and you feel like you've tried everything and what else can you do? And trust me, group number 3, I can empathize with this so much. You don't even know the amount of moments that I had for months, actually, until I went through my next cycle and my next transformation. But I had to go through the hardship of, for months, waking up and just not having motivation to do anything, not having the drive to even live, to even exist, you know, to even do anything for myself, be it shower, be it brush my teeth, be it do my hair. And that's the thing, like, I still showed up for you guys, because seeing your comments, reading your DMs, seeing how you're still subscribing, you're still following me on Instagram, you're still telling me how my decks, my jewelry, my online courses have changed your life. That was the light at the end of the tunnel for me. That was the fuel that I needed to not give up. So I will forever be so grateful to the Unicorn family, and I can't even put in words. And I want you to know that all of this, I wouldn't have had that if I would have never thought to myself, let me just put up my first tarot reading video. And the people who watched it, all 5 of you, thank you. I love you. All 2 of you who commented, like, you're the reason I'm here, because I took that positivity and I ran with it. And the 3 of Swords in reverse shows us here that what you can do is you can go from heartbreak to the release of it. You can go from feeling like life is just not even worth living, you're not getting anywhere, you're in this depression, you're in this downward spiral, you don't know why and you don't know how to free yourself of it. There is always hope, there is always a way, there's always going to be that encounter, that person that gives you hope, which is why I also love to emphasize just how important it is to be kind to one another, because you never know what another person is going through. Whether it's the person serving you behind the counter at your favorite coffee shop, whether it's the person you're dealing with on the phone because you need to talk to someone about one of your insurances, whether it's the clerk at the place where you're going out that's hanging up your coat, whether it's the valet, whether it's the doctor you're going to for good health, maybe they are dealing with their own terrible health. Group number this is getting so freaking creepy. We've got feel. You guys literally saw me randomly pull these letters out of the back. You guys, this is getting really creepy. This is about feeling. Your guides are literally making sure it is abundantly clear that you realize how you feel is so, I'm shaking, you guys. Like the confirmation, the fact that the angels are here, I feel so protected, and I love that you're getting this within your reading. I love that I get to record that this gets to live on the internet forever, that this gets to continue to exist out here for all of you to see, literally for decades to come. All right, your feelings matter. And I want you to be so kind to yourself, so kind to the people that you encounter, because you never know what someone's feeling and what someone's going through. And I want you to know here that feeling all the feels is something that you should never be ashamed of, is something that allows you to have a human experience. Because imagine if you could not feel anything, you couldn't feel amazing moments, or if everything was the same amazing feeling, all of a sudden it wouldn't be amazing anymore because you don't know what downs are, you don't know what hard times are. So there's really truth to the saying that, you know, hard times create strong men, and that weak men, weak people create hard times. All right, I'm so proud of you, group number 3, for still standing, for still being here, for still fighting every single day, even if it's challenging to do some basic daily tasks, even if your feelings are telling you, I can't anymore. I want you to know that these are feelings, all right? And feelings are malleable, feelings change, feelings adapt. It is not an unshakable truth. If you're going through depression or a hard time or feeling down, it is not your identity. It's not your reality. It's a feeling, and it will pass, group number 3. Gosh, your reading is so incredibly powerful, group number 3. I'm literally shaking. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to clear and cleanse the space, and I'll be back because I sense we have a few more messages from your guides for you within this reading that's going to just completely change you, your life, the trajectory of your life. So you don't need to do a thing, but hold on tight and continue to enjoy your reading, group number 3. That's what I create this content for. So I'll be right back with you. Welcome back, my gorgeous soul of group number 3. Let's just delve a little more deeply into your reading, as I see that Spirit just has a couple more messages here for you that you are meant to receive. I feel like this is going to give you some insight on what's next. Be open to receiving. And I really love the diversity in my Wild Muse Oracle deck. Here within Be Open to Receiving, Spirit wants you to be open to receiving from all sources, even if that's a refund that you're receiving, even if that's someone saying to you, oh, let me buy you a drink. That is you just manifesting money right there. And I don't want you to discriminate how you're manifesting money. I want you to be graceful in your accepting of it and to see it as, yeah, I manifested this. Don't see it as, oh, well, otherwise maybe I wouldn't have gotten myself the drink or whatever. No, you manifested $10, $20, however much it is that drink cost and someone gave to you. And when you do that, we've got endless serendipity coming your way, endless positive little situations that you think to yourself, oh, this is just a coincidence. Oh, well, you know, I was thinking that I needed a refund for that anyways. No, that's serendipity. And the more that you practice being open to receiving and being grateful for this serendipity and for money coming back to you and flowing to you, the more you will have these little serendipitous moments that after a while, it starts to add up, group number 3. After a while, it starts to be like, whoa, I'm actually really manifesting some big things that I wanted now. And I see here that Spirit also wants you to take a little break from the internet, from social media, your emails. I mean, group 3, I need to practice this myself. My email inbox is full with junk, with stuff that I don't need. It's stressing me out. I need to get it back down to 0. I see here within Disconnect that taking a little bit of time even to just put your accounts on hold, whether it's dating apps, whether it's Instagram, whether it's just deactivating Facebook for a while, I do see here that will actually help you in order to receive, and it will help bring good things to you in your life because your energy isn't so scattered. You don't wake up and then first thing you allow social media to dictate what kind of content, what kind of information that goes into your brain. You actually decide. And rather than your smartphone being smart for you, you are using it in an intelligent way in order to make your life better rather than it controlling your mood and your life, group number 3. So Spirit wants to be really clear with you on the fact that some social media detoxes are so healthy. I like to do this on a weekly basis as well, group number 3. I often have days where I say to myself, okay, I'm going to put my phone into flight mode for 4 hours, 6 hours. I'm going to put my phone into flight mode and go on this walk and like download what I want to listen to or watch on my walk, and then put myself into a disconnected state. So I know, all right, there's not going to be a phone call, there's not going to be anyone annoying me, there's not going to be anyone wanting something from me, there's going to be no notifications, I'm not going to be seeing things where I might end up comparing myself or comparing what I'm putting out there. It's just me. And it's just me working on being better than who I was yesterday. And I want you to know that disconnecting is the healthiest thing that you can do. And what it will do is it will completely shake your nervous system. I see this really clearly here within the tower, especially for all of you beautiful souls who are a little bit addicted to their phones. So if you check how many times you've opened your phone in a day, and you've opened it like 100 times, because when you have it in your hand, you're just fidgeting and you just open, you just check everything mindlessly. You know, at some point it becomes a routine. It's not even like you didn't check your emails already 5 minutes ago, but refreshing just becomes a routine and a habit. So when you stop that, my goodness, it really shakes your nervous system. I see that here within the tower. And something within you, some attachment to your phone, to the media, it breaks. And that attachment breaking is a very positive kind of destruction that we have here within the tower. So the tower doesn't always need to mean destruction in a negative sense. Destroying habits that are not helping you grow, that are not healthy or helpful for your highest self, for your mental health, that is really positive, that kind of destruction. So the tarot cards and their meanings are always here in context, in relation to what else is going on within your reading. It's not that we can always just take one card as this meaning and that's it. And if you are in my course on how to become a tarot reader, then you know this, then you're aware of the fact that this isn't just one size fits all, and you get to put your own divine messages that you're receiving into your readings, interconnect them, and then you get the final message that Spirit really wanted to communicate. Here we've got the Ace of Cups. The Ace, okay, so there is something here that is actually fluid throughout any reading, and that's numerology. Okay, so not the general meaning of the card, but numerology. So funny that we have this kind of complete switch from your card can have different meanings, even though, you know, traditionally or basically it means destruction, which one can see as bad, but it's not always bad. Whereas then with the ace always represents a new beginning. So numerology is very different from the general meaning of a tarot card. The numbers are a little bit more rigid, as you guys know. Even in a math equation, for example, you can't be a little right or a little wrong. You either got it right or you got it wrong. So here within the Ace of Cups, the ace represents a new beginning. The Suit of Cups corresponds to the element of water, and it represents your emotions, your feelings, your relationships and friendships. And here we have this cup that is kind of allowing for a little bit of water to flow out onto this cloud. I love this cup here with this eye. And then we have a raven that is flying across the sky. This is a sun, a moon, a depiction of a heavenly body. And I want you to know here that what this represents is through the destruction of these unhelpful habits and connections that you've got internally in your internal landscape to social media, your phone, and the internet, you are able to build a new relationship. So building from the ground up, a new relationship with yourself and with the media, and it's like a fresh start, basically. So building a fresh relationship is really healthy at this point in your existence, group number 3, because sometimes we get so used to a certain dynamic that we have with social media and with the internet that isn't healthy and isn't helpful and isn't allowing us to grow. So this is like a reset. It's a factory reset of your mind and your relationship to the interweb. So next up, we've got the Page of Swords. I want you to know that when you do this, it actually will trigger you to see the world in a completely different way. It's like, oh my God, all of a sudden I see all these colors as I look up from my phone screen and I'm no longer glued to it. So here with the Page of Swords, we also have this, what seems to be a toucan, and it does represent you being in a position where, okay, I am youthful, I'm truthful, I'm going to use my mind and be honest with myself about the ways in which I have maybe used social media as a crutch and as a distraction. And I see here within the Four of Swords that what that will do is it will give you a really calm mind, because we do have here a sloth, right? And I almost said slug, but we've got a sloth. In the Four of Swords, the sloth hanging from these swords, you've got time. When you step away from this addiction to your phone, you will be like, oh my God, the day actually is so long, it has so many hours. A way in which I practice receiving more time and making time last longer throughout the day is through, for one, meditation, And then also reading. That really extends time for me because I'll read for half an hour, and that half hour that on social media feels like 5 minutes, while reading it feels like 2 hours. And then I feel so accomplished because I spent half an hour reading, but I still have so much time ahead of me, even though I felt like it was so much longer. You get what I'm saying, group number 3? So here within the 10 of Cups, this is actually a representation of your relationships, your family life, and your connections being really strong and solid and in a healthy spot. The 10 of Cups shows that starting a new relationship with yourself in regard to the internet will also help to supercharge the relationships that are already in your life and make them better and more fulfilling because you're more present. No one is needing to try to grab your attention because you're always on your phone. You are present by default, and that makes others feel important when they're around you. And when others feel important when they're around you, they feel closer to you. It's just human nature, right? It's human psychology to obviously love who loves us. Some of us, we're a little toxic. We love who doesn't love us. That is a whole nother subject. But when you meet someone and they're either love bombing you or they're genuinely saying to you how much that they like you, how much you inspire them, you tend to like them more too, right? Compared to if they were just lukewarm about you. So next up we have the 7 of Wands, but in reverse. The 7 of Wands in reverse shows here that rather than feeling like social media is such a bad thing or a dark cloud or evil, or the internet and the media is just always conspiring to do something negative, how about we let go and we just realize it's in your control whether you allow that to happen. And it's none of your business what other people do. It's none of your business whether other people continue to be in this bubble of kind of like seeing the media as so negative and complaining about it and saying that we have to be more inclusive, more body positive, more this, more that. Of course, I mean, that goes without saying, everyone should feel represented, but do we have to rest in the negativity of, oh, it's not inclusive enough? Or why don't we just leave when it's too much for us? And when we are using it, create that inclusivity. When we are using social media, okay, then post your photos of yourself if you feel unrepresented, because someone is going to have to do it. And just complaining that no one's doing it, meanwhile you're also not doing anything about it. Group number 3, it doesn't make sense, right? So the 2 of Swords shows us here that we're really at a point in life where we've got to decide. Are we going to sit back and complain and let others shape our realities and shape what we see in the media, or are we going to create it? Just like me, for example, creating this content, it's meant to be healing, uplifting, positive. I am creating this space. Rather than complaining that social media is negative and there's no space for quirky people who are different, who like crystals and spirituality, and who are into things like tarot and oracle cards, I just created my space. I created my niche. I created my vibe. I created my tribe, my energy, my community, the unicorn family. Rather than complaining, I put that energy into doing. And look at where we are here today. Look at where we're gathered and we're able to spend this time with one another, group number 3. And I want you to use this as just a little confirmation and as encouragement that you can do the same. There's nothing that makes me different from you. There's nothing that makes me more capable of doing this than you are, group number 3. And I want you to be so aware of this, and I want you to feel in your soul, to feel in your body right now. The next breath that you take a huge inhale. Make sure that you fill your lungs completely. Take a huge breath, group number 3. Fill your belly with air. And just allow yourself to feel, yes, I am capable. Yes, when you let it out, when you let it go, I want you to let go of any kind of apprehensive thoughts of whether you can or you can't. The message we've got here is I am in divine flow and move in alignment, yin and yang, unity, balanced energy, manifestation. I want you to know that you are in divine flow. You are a divine being, a gorgeous being, group number 3, that is deserving of balancing their energy rather than feeling like you are just at life's mercy. And you must continue to manifest, even if you feel like the results have not showed up yet. I just did my visualization this morning, group number 3, and I want you to know with manifestation, you will never be there. You will never have arrived, because even when you've got that dream home, that dream car, that dream business, career, and relationship, then you'll be manifesting the next thing, right? Group number 3, so it's endless. So rather than feeling discouraged about, oh, what I've been manifesting hasn't showed up yet, stay in the energy of it already being yours. Stay in the energy of visualizing it as though it has already happened, because you've got to feel the emotion ahead of time to draw it into your field. But also remember, that's the whole point, because once you've got it, you'll be manifesting the next thing. So we're never at the end. We've never completed it. And when you know that, it takes so much pressure off of your practice, because you know at the end of the day, you will never have quote unquote arrived. There's always more to learn, to create, to manifest, and to do. So group number 3, taking that pressure off will allow for things to flow to you in a divine and very frictionless manner. So things can come to you because you've taken the pressure off of all the manifestations that you're going for in your life. Because pressure and having thoughts that aren't helpful, that is what's blocking your blessings. But when you take that pressure away, divine flow can begin. Now, group number 3, this is the reading that I received for you. I hope that you enjoyed this really detailed, in-depth reading and that you found it insightful. Feel free to leave a sun and moon emoji below in the comment section if you made it all the way to the end, because that is the only way how anyone would know you are part of group number 3 and you are a real one who watched the reading all the way to the end. I love spending this divine time and space with you. And if you're not yet subscribed, what are you doing, group number 3? We clearly vibe with one another, and this healing, calming space on the internet is going to serve you in the future still. For all of you who are interested in my crystal jewelry, my tarot decks, as well as my reading subscription where you receive a divine message every single day of the year from your big sis, from your favorite reader, check that out. It's below in the description box. It's the first link right at the top. And I am currently having a summer sale on my daily reading membership and subscription club. So make sure that you join it now for lifetime access at a discounted rate. And of course, I have my How to Become a Great Tarot Reader course. I have my course on manifesting abundance, which is also at a sale at the moment, which is also at the summer sale rate. So make sure you lock this in now to transform your life this summer, this season, no more excuses, and to move into the next cycle of your life, supported, improved, and in your highest energy. Now, group number 3, wherever you are on this gorgeous planet, I'm sending you so much love, and I cannot wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings.